Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
I love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men, we will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
On this very show, it'll be yesterday, I asked you 3 questions, or 4, maybe it was 4 questions. What are you going to feel on Thursday morning if the Aggies win by 20 plus points or whatever, double-digit win barely by a bucket or 2, lose by a bucket or 2, or get blown out? And do you remember what you said about if they lost by if they won a close game?
Yeah, I think I said I just celebrate it and, be glad you're still alive. Or I think they won a close game last night, closed strong, went on a 9-0 rally to win. Ruben Dominguez broke out. It seemed to me it was a stay of execution.
Yeah, I feel good.
Yeah,
I am a little worried that this team isn't shooting well. I'm a little worried about that. They found a way. Hey, in the SEC, it's about finding a way. But I don't know. With maybe 4.5 minutes left, I was like, they're not winning this game, and they won that freaking game. OB.
Yeah, it was. They showed that clutch gene that they had showed in previous games while they were winning, making the big plays when you had to, not just shooting the ball, not just making shots, even though Ruben Dominguez hit a big one from the corner. And then Zach Clemens worked his way in for a big jump shot and got fouled, missed it. That could have tied, but Josh Holloway came up with ran down a big offensive rebound, and then Aggie does what Aggie does. But they also made, they also played good defense down the stretch.
Yeah.
Ole Miss was shooting about 62 to 65% in the second half until the last 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes.
And I believe their last 4 shots they missed were all 3-point attempts.
Yeah.
Now, did they rush that? Did A&M, could they not get the ball inside because A&M's defense was preventing it?
Yep.
I don't know.
What's his name got hurt too.
Whatever the case, A&M made the plays and prevented Ole Miss from making the plays to win. And of course, bottom line was Ole Miss had a shot at the buzzer with an attempt to win the game. Unfortunately, it missed.
Or to tie the game. Cooper, I'm going to have you research what Chris Beard said about that game. I'm just curious what his comments were, because it felt for 92% of the game that Ole Miss was going to win.
I thought they were.
Yeah.
Now I've learned since Oklahoma City a decade ago, I've learned not to just start writing things up and have a story ready. But I had a lot of notes and one-liners already written in that I had to delete.
I think it was with 7 minutes left. I think Dominguez in that ballpark hit his first 3. That really, then you're like, okay, we're playing with something. But then Ole Miss started the counter, and it really came down to those last couple of minutes.
For a long time, it was like I had a coach back in high school that used to say, if you're trading baskets and behind, all you are is trying to climb a ladder in quicksand. You're going nowhere. Yeah. And that's where it felt like. And then they made, they were down 13 and they made some headway and they got it within 6, but they couldn't get closer until Dominguez hit that 1-3 and started the rally.
Yeah.
with about 2.5 minutes, 2:40 left. He hits that three from the corner.
How about the rebounding machine that A&M is, Mike?
Well, we understand that Ole Miss is the worst
Yeah.
rebounding team in the SEC, and they showed it today. Now, I don't mean to disparage what A&M accomplished, but you got to look at it from all angles. And then, like I said, they're for a time at the end they didn't have Dia for a time. So
what were they outscored on the fast break points? It was ridiculous.
At one time, the last time I looked, it was 18-0. And I quit, so I didn't look again.
23-0.
Yeah.
And 20-6 edge on points off of turnovers for Ole Miss.
Yeah, A&M had more turnovers, I think, at least at one point when I quit looking at the
13
stats.
turnovers to their 11.
And that's typically not a recipe for winning.
And A&M shot 25% from the three. Not a recipe for winning. How many of those threes were hit in the last 7 minutes of the game? 3?
Yeah, probably.
That just shows you where they were shooting-wise.
Yeah. Oh, it was abysmal. I think there were 2 of 11 in the first half. What's funny is, well, not funny, but kid number 3, why am I blanking? Griffin.
Rylan Griffin?
Griffin hit a three-pointer to end the half. Unfortunately, it was about a half second too late. And that was probably the best shot of the game of the half. Yeah, A&M, they did not. It was funny. It was kind of like the Missouri game in reverse, in that at halftime, A&M had shot the lights out, and were only up 5. And you're thinking, okay, I don't feel comfortable with this. And this time, A&M shot pretty poorly in the first half. They were 2 of 11. Weren't shooting well inside. In the paint, I think they'd made like 5 of 13 layups too, and yet they were only down 5. And so you're thinking, well, this looks awful, but at least they're still. It could be a lot worse.
Yeah, I was thinking at the half the reverse of what I was thinking at Missouri. Like, man, they just hit a couple threes. They're going to win this game, right? That's what it felt like. I didn't know that was going to happen in the last 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah, when they got down 13 with 11 and a half minutes to go, I was thinking, all right, well, it was a good run. It's still got 5 games to go, but it's going to be not just an uphill battle. It's going to be a mountain climb to get to 10 wins. And then they just slowly, very slow, almost glacially cut into that margin.
Yeah.
And then when they got it to 6, you're still thinking, okay, they can't get closer until that last 2.5 minutes. They go on that 9-0 run.
I like what you put in your story last night in last night's game. Just when A&M's NCAA tournament aspirations were fading, the Aggies were rescued by CPR. More accurately, they were saved by CDR.
CDR.
Clemens, Dominguez, and Rashawn.
Yeah, those 3 guys came up big.
And
I was thinking, if only, no offense, Ruben, but if only it had been Pop that shot, the CPR would have worked. So I said, well, CDR.
Well, Pop had a little rough stretch earlier in that game.
Yeah, he did. He had a rough stretch, yeah. So.
But they are now they control their destiny in a way for the tournament, because you win the games you're supposed to, which we learned against Missouri and almost against Ole Miss. That's not a guarantee, but you win the games you're supposed to, you should get in. Sure.
I know the thinking is 10-8, and the SEC play is going to get you in, and now they're 8-5. So
I think they need 3 more.
You may be right, but that's the thinking.
You're right.
And you would think that, okay, they've already beaten 3 of those teams that they're going to play.
Yeah.
They've already beaten
That's
Oklahoma.
what worries me, OB.
They've already beaten Texas. They've already beaten LSU. But you got to play LSU and Oklahoma on the road.
Right.
And quite frankly, Texas is playing good basketball now.
Yeah, they are. Now, you can hope that one of these super teams, A&M gets hot on that night.
Yeah, maybe you beat Kentucky. Kentucky got beat by Georgia?
Yeah.
So they're not invincible, and you get them at home, but
you're not going to beat those teams, though, shooting 25%.
Yeah, you're going to have to earn it.
Yeah.
I don't care that I think LSU still last in the standings. I don't care. They damn near beat Texas the other night.
Mm-hmm.
They who was it? Kentucky that or was it Tennessee? Somebody good. They gave them a good scare, and they've been playing better. They're not good, but they're still better than they were when they came to College Station in the first game, and that was a struggle.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, there was a stretch where I thought that the A&M team that beat LSU, I thought they became a better team.
They did.
After that game.
They did.
And right now, I don't know if they're a better team than that team that beat LSU. I don't know. Because what we have for evidence is the last 5 games. In the last 5 games, now 3 of them came down to the wire, right? Mm-hmm. But they just haven't played their best ball.
No, but here's the deal. It's really weird to look at it. I would feel better just about the way they play and the way they look by that 1-point loss to Missouri than that win over Ole Miss. Because Missouri's a better team, as they showed by beating Vanderbilt last night. And so
Missouri might be in the tournament.
Oh, I think they are.
Yeah.
I think they are. So I just look at Missouri and I think, gosh, it's too bad you let that one get away, because that would have been a huge win. But if you're trying to gauge what makes you a good team, you're like, man, those guys played Missouri. They were shooting the last shot to win the game. You went and played a struggling Ole Miss team that's now lost 8 in a row. Of course, some of them were close. A lot of them were close, about half of them. And you had to survive a last-second shot to win.
The last bracketology I saw, and this, I don't know if it was before the game or after the game. I read it this morning, but I don't know when it was updated. Had A&M as a 10 seed in the NCAA tournament.
Playing number 7 Wisconsin. And quite frankly, I'd kind of like that matchup.
Did it say where?
It did. I'm trying to remember where it said. I want to say it was someplace I don't want to go, like Philadelphia or someplace.
Oh, of course. Hey,
but at least I could get a cheesesteak if it came to that.
This is TexAgs Live.
It is.
I just wanted to make sure you agreed.
Yeah. You know who else agrees? David Gardner's Jeweler.
Or they're the presenting sponsor.
That's right.
We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio. I texted with Jason Rollo this morning and last night. Good old Jason.
Jason Jackson.
The boys.
Keith Morgan. The men and women.
The men and women.
The Army.
Yeah.
That is.
The Rollo Insurance Army.
Thank you. The Rollo Insurance Army fighting the war against
bad insurance.
For insurance.
Fighting for better insurance.
To insure you.
Yes. And this hour has a name. We call it the Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. Why do we call it the Go Hour?
Well, because you're going to work, and also because originally it was Gabe and Olin.
Yeah, and we just go in the morning.
We just go. No telling where we're going to go.
Hanging out at the Holistic Planning
Cool Zone.
We love money.
I know I love it.
Yeah.
I love it so much, I wish I had more of it.
I do. I agree with you there. If you want to be a part of the conversation, call us up 979-693-1150. That is the Buppies Catering and
Bartending
hotline, 979-693-1150. You can also text that number, and that text line is actually called the
Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line.
Yes, it is.
Same number. 979-693-1150.
Right. You can text your thoughts there. You can voice text.
Yeah, you can do whatever. We want to hear your thoughts.
It depends on the person. Some people are mean. I don't want to hear from mean people. I want nice people. Only say nice things.
I want them all. Come on. If you got bad things to say, bring it on.
Hey, Nick Savage. He's behind the glass. He's our friend.
Speaking of mean guys.
Yeah, you're a big baseball guy, right?
Sure.
Do you know who Chandler Rome is?
Yeah.
He blocked me on Twitter. I don't think I've ever talked to the guy. The only reason I know this is I was on Twitter yesterday after the game, enjoying some of the tweets about the Aggie basketball game. And a guy that I know who does media in Houston, Jeremy Branham, goes, I've joined the list. And he goes, I'm being blocked by Chandler Rome. Okay. And then Passwaters from Aggie Yell goes, I've been blocked too, and I've never talked to the guy. I was like, I wonder why. And I just checked. Blocked. I think I've said one word to him in Houston when he was a reporter. Hey, that's
the
it.
Astros, beat reporter group. There's all kinds of rivalries going on there. There's always beef between them.
Well, I'm glad Chandler blocked me, Nick, because I didn't like him in the first place. So I hope I run into him one day.
He comes off as, again, he's a beat reporter, so he didn't have to like the team he covers, but
what
he always
team does
comes
he cover?
Across the Astros.
The Astros for the Athletic. I don't know the guy. He might be salt of the earth, but every encounter I've seen him, he just...
Is he like Jim's son?
Yeah, he is Jim's son. They spell it a little differently. But yeah.
Okay.
No, actually, I don't know if they spell it differently. I don't know. He might be a nice guy, but screw him. Anyway, I know you're a baseball guy.
Now
So I brought it up.
Interesting. Some trends that kind of caught my eye after that game last night, and I think this says more about Ole Miss really than it says about A&M. But the Aggies outscored Ole Miss 50-34 in the paint. That's their highest mark in SEC play this season so far. And A&M out-rebounded Ole Miss 16-4. And again, I think that's more of a...
That's just offensive rebounds, I think, right there.
Yeah, that is offensive rebound. Sorry. And then second chance points, 18-4 advantage for A&M.
Yeah.
So, again, needed the win. You heard Bucky say it. It was a must-win game in the post game. So glad they did it, and now they can turn their attention to Oklahoma.
Really good stats there. By the way, one last thing on Chandler Rome for you, Nick.
Okay.
Rowe or Rome?
Rome. I blocked him back. It's like, all right, bro,
Got him.
you're not going to find out anything about A&M. Nothing. You're out. Loser. Those darn newspaper
We're gonna
writers.
block
I don't
him
ever
from
block
TexAgs
anybody
Live.
unless they. I mean, there's a line. You got to go a ways to cross the line with me. They'll make some kind of remarks that are, I think, are just beyond offensive about like A&M. I typically don't block you if you offend me because I don't get offended that easy. But but when I do block somebody, I want them to know I'm blocking them, because some people just, what do you call it? What's the other thing where they just don't mute? Yeah. No, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to just block you so you can know.
Some people take it as a badge of honor. Like, I joined the list, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm glad I got blocked. I don't typically block people because I want to see them coming.
Yeah, I never blocked people. My high school football coach would say I never blocked anybody.
Well, this is true. Let's go right
Coach
now.
Moore?
I just blocked him on TexAgs Live, so now he can't watch our show on Twitter.
Boom! Chandler Rome? Go back to Rome where you're from.
Man, I want him to watch.
Okay, maybe.
I want everybody to watch.
By the way, if he's a nice guy, I'm going to feel really weird or rude for calling him a loser. But he's not because he blocked me.
Huh.
I don't even know the guy. I'm going to start blocking people I don't know. Sark, blocked. I'm kidding. Cooper, you're blocked. How are you, sir, at the Angry Elephant Houston Social Center?
I'm doing good. I mean, that's okay. I don't mind being blocked by David. He doesn't follow me or anything, so it's not like...
Are you pulling a Callie Garner? I found out I wasn't following Callie Garner. Do you have a good insight on your tweets, by the way?
I have great insight. I just posted...
But then I got to follow every intern. Come on, bro.
I just posted that I was the new Papa Shot leader in the office with a new record of 118, so that's great stuff.
Did that get you blocked?
No,
Hey, guess what? You wouldn't score 118 with my defense, brah.
I'm probably not 118, but if we were playing to 11, I'd score 11.
You probably would. You're a big guy. All right. Give us some news. Did you find out what Chris Beard had to say?
So it was a pretty short press conference. It was about 3.5 minutes. I listened to the whole thing because I couldn't really find quotes without having to pay a subscription somewhere.
Sure.
And he basically was
saying... You
probably
could have found those on TexAgs.
I should have looked there first. Did you write something about it?
No,
okay. Well, he basically said that it was a really close game. They felt that they outplayed A&M, which might honestly be true if you look at some of the stats outside of rebounding, and that if a few plays, particularly their last run-up play that they had where they had a shot to take the lead, if that had gone differently, it'd be a completely different vibe in the locker room.
It's called basketball.
That's my thought too. But
by the way, if a couple plays went different against Missouri, A&M wins.
I think
that's called basketball.
I was right there in front of him, probably about 5 feet away, and I thought that he was very gracious. He wasn't making. He was like, hey, A&M, made the plays that mattered, and we didn't, and it was a good win for them, probably a must-win for A&M. He said it was, and then Bucky confirmed it, and he did say, hey, we had our chances, and we outplayed them, which they did. I don't think anybody's going to argue that they outplayed them for probably for 35 minutes.
What else, Coop?
I want to let y'all know that Aggies softball will start their weekend tonight against number 14 Oregon, also number 14 Duke. A little confusion. They're both tied for number 14. So that will be a ranked doubleheader. Their first pitch will be against the Ducks at 2:30 and 7:30 against the Blue Devils. They'll have two more ranked matchups this weekend, including number 6 Nebraska and number 11 UCLA. Nebraska will be on Saturday. UCLA will be on Sunday. They return home to Davis Diamond next weekend for the Texas A&M Invitational.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, Cooper. Let's hit a break, OB.
Okay.
All right. We're going to do something similar to yesterday, but I'm going to test your Spanish because Ruben Dominguez broke out of a slump. So you're going to talk about the food at 1775.
Ay, caramba.
But you've got to use Spanish words every once in a while to talk about the food at 1775.
Si, senor.
Okay. So where do we start? The succulent brisket?
Ay, si. Muy suculento.
What about the ribs?
Ay, caramba. El rib. I don't know how to say rib. El ribo. I want más el ribos.
Costillas. Costilla.
Costilla.
All right, let's go with the turkey, el pavo.
How do you say it?
Pavo.
Pavo?
Yeah.
Pavo. Muy bueno, pavo. Pavo muy bueno.
Very healthy, right?
Si, senor.
Let's see one more. Why do you like going?
Why do I like going?
Yeah.
Because it's muy bueno.
Okay, just making sure.
And you get más barbecue.
Más barbecue. This bit is not working.
I don't know enough Spanish. All I know are the mean words that Irma calls me when she gets mad.
Delicioso?
Muy delicioso.
There we go. 1775 TXBBQ.com. Call them up 979-492-6241.
It's bueno!
Carlito Santana.
I'm not saying he's the greatest guitarist, but he may be the coolest.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's a good businessman. He makes high-dollar women's shoes.
Let's play a game. Obie, who are to you the coolest people on the planet? Because I know Mick Jagger's one of them.
Mick Jagger's up there.
I'm going to ask Cooper what his opinion is and Nick's, just to see if we're all on the same page.
I'll say Mick Jagger. I'll say Carlos Santana and Cedric Golden.
Okay.
If you know Cedric is
he's cool.
He's the epitome of cool.
All right, Cooper, who are your three?
Let's go with
cool. Like they're just cool.
I think MJ's up there. He's even though I don't think he's the GOAT as we always talk about, I think he's a cool guy.
Let's not go there because it'll be 20 minutes of arguing with the child. Go ahead.
I think MJ's up there. I think Christian Bale.
Oh, good answer, sir.
The guy that went viral. I don't even know if viral was a thing yet, but was well known for screaming and abusing people on set.
Yeah. It makes him cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that's it. That's all I got. I'm blanking on other cool people.
Nick Savage
and the people at Holistic Planning, of course.
I am cool. Yeah. No. Are we going like?
I don't know because
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Obie said Carlos Santana is cool.
He is.
And I'm sure he was in his day. You
can't be older and cool. No. I think that Mick Jagger's 80-something years old.
Not cool.
He's extremely cool.
He looks like he's died.
It doesn't matter. So do I. I'm cool. I'm really not.
I'm just thinking musicians like Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Cool.
He's dead.
Cool.
We're limiting it to alive.
Oh no! But if you're gonna dismiss someone because they're old,
I'm not the one who did that.
Old still trumps dead.
This is true. They got to be alive. All right, give me an alive person. Cool.
George Strait.
Yeah, Nick wins. Who else?
I'm thinking
Justin Timberlake.
No, I wouldn't say Justin Timberlake is cool. No
Bad
rappers
Bunny?
on my list.
No. All right, we'll move on. By the way, a lot of people on the YouTube page said that they've been blocked by TexAgs.
Really?
James said he was blocked. Dave and Edmund, we know why because he's not good. But kidding, Dave. We still read your stuff. But a lot of people said it. Yeah.
Huh. I've never blocked anybody on TexAgs.
I haven't.
Of course, I'm surprised TexAgs hadn't blocked me.
Oh, you are. You are. That's why you don't see our stuff.
Yeah.
iDoc Mike wants to hear more Latin, más español de Olin.
And iDoc Mike, he's of the Brotherhood, right?
And Juan, who's part of the community, he says OB may be Cuban.
Hey, I like Cubans. All right. So if you want to make me an honorary member, I would gladly accept.
I'm going to have to go to the meeting and discuss that with the people. OB, before we hit a break, I do want to read a text. I'll let Cooper read the text. There was a text about Reuben Owens because I think we're going to talk, obviously, a lot of football with Stephen McGee here in a minute. But so let's set the table. Cooper, do you see that text about Reuben?
From Ryan?
Yep.
That's about Reuben Dominguez.
Oh, sorry. I just saw the headline.
It's a great text.
But hey, that one too. Read it, that one.
Reuben coming alive late should be the biggest storyline from this game. If his slump is over, that's huge down the stretch.
Agree?
Yeah, I mean, they need him. Look, they broke a slump, and he had 13 points, which was about double what he'd had in the 4-game losing streak. So there's no doubt that he's an integral part of their success.
Now I'm going to read that same text, and I'm going to insert the name Reuben Owens. Reuben Owens coming along next season will be a big boost to A&M because I think he was very good for them last year. But let's say he takes a huge, we always talk about Marcel taking a big step. If Reuben takes that next big step with Morrow and Tiger Rioden and the freshmen, but I'm specifically talking about Reuben being the main guy in the room. If he takes a huge step, then watch out.
Yeah, I'd like to see Reuben be even more physical. I'd like to see more physical.
Yeah.
Which is almost odd to say. Wasn't he the guy that threw the block on the Texas linebacker? I think it was Spence on Casey Concepcion's touchdown. He just depleted the guy.
Yeah.
But when he runs, I would like to. There's no doubt he has speed and he can run away from people. I just need to see him more physical and break more tackles.
Yeah, I agree. All right, we'll hit a break. Stephen McGee, our QB1, will be joining us right now. A moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, and online at CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. Your trade-in has value, and at Caldwell Country Chevrolet, They're ready to put that equity to work for you. They have a very good pre-owned vehicle inventory, and that moves fast, which means they're always looking for quality vehicles to add to their list. Bring in what you've got and let their experienced sales team show you what it's worth. With decades of combined experience, Roller Insurance will structure a deal that makes sense for you. And don't forget, every purchase does come with that free oil change for life from Caldwell Country Chevrolet. No games, no gimmicks, just honest deals from people that treat you like family. That is the Caldwell way. Remember, it's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryan to the beginnings of Caldwell. Short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the great people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. The Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. Time for our weekly conversation with Stephen McGee, our QB1, and your financial quarterback at Paragon Financial Advisors, helping you call the right plays for your financial future. What's up, buddy?
Good morning.
So, OB asked you a question if you had any silly questions asked to you during your combine experience, and you didn't think of any silly, but you got some good advice.
Yeah, the kind of questions that some of the guys get asked weren't directed toward me, just because they were generally more worried about me not having fun as a player, as opposed to the kind of player that was having too much fun. Do you remember the linebacker for Texas, Kimball?
Yes.
Remember him? Sergio Kimball?
Kendall.
Sergio Kendall.
Yeah.
He had a couple extra beverages or something and like drove his car through a wall.
Yeah.
And so there's a funny combine story about a team asking him about that. And he basically says, no, that didn't happen. And they're like, no, it did.
And there's a
Here
police
you are
report
on camera. It's like, okay, dude. But for me, it was going into these meetings. I remember Coach Sherman, of course, he's well-versed in those. He was like, hey, put a dry erase marker in your pocket because, you're going to be on the board talking football with them. And so I walked into a meeting with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and John Fox was the coach, and quarterback coach was the old Alabama coach before Saban. Shula. Nice guy.
Yeah.
And so they're like, all right, draw up, Fox 2, Y basic, whatever, fullback bounce. So instead of grabbing one of their markers, I just pulled it out of my pocket, And they're like, no, you didn't bring your own marker. I was like, yeah, I came to talk ball,
Were they impressed?
Yeah, they were like, this guy's... I can't say it on air. They're probably like, this guy's gay.
You know what, though? What I find the funniest part of that story, and of course, not everybody got to meet you back then like I did, is that even at the NFL, they knew this guy has no fun.
No fun.
This guy, it's the complete... Everything you know about Stephen McGee now is the complete opposite. I always say, why is this guy so tightly wound? He's pissed off every day, and it's just in a Tuesday presser. People ask him softball questions, and he's mad.
Yeah, it's interesting because I know you more like this, like always, like some of the things you show me on your phone, like you're fun, right? You're always fun. So you weren't that way at all during your college days?
No, heaven's sakes, no. I struggled to have fun. In fact, one of my...
Like even with your teammates, or it just...
Yeah.
Okay.
I got better a little bit as I progressed down, but yeah, it was always difficult for me. And so it was funny. One of my coaches, when he first met me, he was like, "Hey man, you need to take a girl on a date." Like that was his off-season advice for me.
Do something to relax.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why do you think you were that way? You were just so focused.
He was so. That's exactly what it was.
Everything was about winning and losing. Every day was a win or a loss. You're either getting better winning or you're not. And it was like anything in your way was a distraction to that. So.
And I could, no offense, but I could get that if that was the thinking of like Christian or Cruz Nuño, because her dad is so focused on it. But your dad, Rodney, was like the most easygoing guy. He was a basketball coach at Burnett, so I got to know him too. And he was just like, super nice guy. I can't imagine he ever, like Stephen was to like burn down the house. He'd say, no, son, you shouldn't have done that.
We did get in a fight one time. You ever one of your boys ever challenge you?
Never. My daughters have.
Well, they've seen you grapple, so they're probably a little scared still.
My daughters will challenge me. My boys are very, no, they don't do that.
I definitely like to challenge my dad on the basketball court. My dad was a good basketball player. Undersized athlete, but he was really good. And I remember my stepmom had to get in the middle of us. But yeah, we got into it on vacation, playing basketball at a park. It had to happen.
It had to happen.
Yeah, I bet Dad won.
Depends on who you ask. Details differ, as they always do.
So I think of Coach Elko as somebody who doesn't just say things to say things, right? I think, do we agree, OB?
Yes.
Yep. He was on J.D. Pickell's show the other day, and he fully expects to see a massive leap from Marcel this year. He said the word massive leap. And if you look at what he did from his first year playing to last year, He took a huge step in Coach Elko's eyes and my eyes as well. What does that look like for Marcel to take a massive leap?
Yeah, if he did say that, I think there's conviction in the processes that he's taking, as of a month and a half ago, right? That's when the quarterback takes a big leap. It's not the stuff you see on game day. It's the steps you take in the offseason when no one's looking that help prepare the way for success in the fall, right? And for Marcel, I think he's got to take a huge step in the pass game. The consistency, his throwing mechanics, his feet in the pocket, the things that let him down the stretch against really good defenses that force a quarterback to be on time, accurate, under pressure. It's the feet. It's the throwing motion. All those stuff can be like fine-tuned. And I think that's true of any great quarterback, right? That's Tom Brady. That's Peyton Manning. They're always trying to find an extra way in which they can perform at a better level in those clutch moments. The quarterback coach that he's worked with in the past, in my opinion, is one of the best in the country, David Morse. I mean, you look at some of the guys he's worked with. Look at the revival of a guy like Bo Nix, right? I mean, at Auburn, that guy was like more or less, his career seemed dead.
Right.
And now he's a guy that's got his team, contending for a Super Bowl. And then Drake May.
Drake May too, yeah.
And then look at the revival of Indiana Jones. What's my quarterback from the Giants?
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones. He's a guy that's really developed under. I mean, I'm not trying to say, but you look at the list of his quarterbacks and the way that he's developed them, the drills that he puts them through, and I kind of keep it up with him on social media from afar. He's got a great list of quarterbacks. The proof's in the pudding, and that's exactly what Marcel needs. It's the fundamentals of playing the position at that NFL level. We know he's a great athlete. We know he can create. The question mark will always be for Marcel, can you win from the pocket versus a team like Miami?
Right. I want to go back to something you said. I'm going to bring grappling into it. When my coach works with me, he talks about not running stop signs, okay? Because there's little things in the process of doing a move that if you don't do, you won't be able to do the move. Quarterback-wise, I see you smile. Quarterback-wise, isn't it the same thing, though? The little things right before the pass?
Absolutely. It is all.
But like little things you don't think of.
A lot of stuff you don't think of, right? I mean, that's the hard part about playing the position is 90% of it's between the ears. There's so much information to absorb from the time the last play finishes. You have 40 seconds to snap the ball for the next play, and then you have this play coming in. You got to get your guys lined up. You got to get a potential adjustment to the play call, audibles, adjusting protections, and then you got to see what the defense is doing. Is it single high? Is it shell? Are we running it? Are we throwing it? Then I got to progress through my read. I got to find the hot answers. So all those things are happening. And the beautiful thing is for a quarterback is to allow the game to slow down, right? That's when you're playing at a high level. It's like everything happens slow motion. I think for young quarterbacks, it speeds up a lot of times in those big moments. These guys are fast. They're smart. They know what you're trying to do, and they disguise, and they create confusion. So as a quarterback, if you can eliminate the confusion and allow the game to slow down, I think it allows you to play at a faster level.
Right.
But when you process and play at a fast level, all those details matter. It's the feet. It's on time. It's being in rhythm, and it's making decisive decisions at the quarterback position that matter so much.
Obi, you want to add to that?
I just think it's going to look like it's 6-1. I want to see 36 touchdown passes and 6 interceptions, something around that, and throw in 600 yards rushing. By the way, to me, they didn't use Marcel's legs enough. And I go back to the LSU game. Twice, they're inside the 5-yard line, right? One time, he throws an interception.
Yep.
One time, he sees an opening, he just runs in. That's what I'm looking for. That guy that will see an opportunity and run it in, as opposed to the guy that's going to try to force a pass in the end zone.
Yeah.
Because he was a legitimate Heisman Trophy candidate going into the Texas game, into the last week of the regular season.
Yeah.
I think it's about polishing and refining.
Yeah.
He's good. He's good. He needs his coach to get in there, and what I think, at least in my mind, it's about teaching him to make the better decisions in the red zone.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's the beautiful thing
And
about it.
some of the better decisions in the red zone is tucking it and go.
Absolutely. The
right,
difference between good
for
and
him.
great, right? I mean,
For him.
he played at a really good level. He's a Heisman contender, and yet we all sit here and say, well, he could still take it another level,
Yes,
which is
and
scary.
he
to
can.
think.
And he can.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to hit a break. We'll come back a little buy, sell, hold. Right now, imagine a workspace designed for how we work now, collaborative, inspiring, and surrounded by real energy. And that is the Lumen at Lake Walk. The Lumen is Bryan College Station's only Class A+ office building. They have lake views, on-site dining, fitness, and conference amenities, all just steps from the Stella Hotel and everything that Lake Walk has to offer. It's a place built for the modern business and a place that helps attract talent, impress clients, and keep teams energized. And something else, the Lumen is an Aggie-owned project developed by William Cole Companies, the same group that brought you Traditions Club, the Stella, and Lake Walk. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, if you're looking for your next headquarters or family office, this is where innovation meets lifestyle. Now leasing at the Lumen. Learn more at lakewalktx.com. That is lakewalktx.com. All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. It is the Go Hour presented by the Warehouse, as I just said. Buy, sell, hold. Brought to you by Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors, providing fiduciary guidance designed around your goals. Learn more at paragon-adv.com. Gentlemen, there's a lot of chatter of teams, programs canceling some of their non-conference games. Texas did add Notre Dame, but just canceled Arizona State like in 2030 or something like that. Other schools have done it. So my question to you all is something we'll probably won't see with the way college football playoffs are moving. Desired non-conference road game for Texas A&M. Okay, I chose 3 Big Ten teams because I don't know. We've seen the Big 12.
Yep.
Anyway, Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon. Buy, sell, hold.
Man, my thought is selfishly knowing how tough our schedule is, just getting through the SC West, is that you take the easiest of the three on the bye.
Which is Penn State.
I enjoy playing like Notre Dame. We had some great games, obviously great moments, and I get all that, but I just don't see the value in having a tough non-conference game at this point. When you have 9 SEC games and you know they're all going to be tough, and that schedule, if you have 3 softballs outside of it, speaks for itself. But the problem is if you get a stumble outside of those 9, it's going to cost you the ability to play in a championship. So I'll buy Oregon. I mean, they've been pretty good. I'm gonna sell.
They got to the semifinals.
Yeah, true. Penn State's kind of was the dud last year. I don't know. I feel like historically they maybe.
But they got to the semifinals last year.
I'm definitely selling. True. I'm definitely selling Ohio State. I feel like they're the most consistently good team. If you're just saying it from a tough scheduling perspective, now obviously I'd like to go to Ohio State. Would you?
I've been there.
So no, you don't care.
So yeah, we'll get there.
Happy Valley?
I think Happy Valley would be my buy.
My buy is Happy Valley. I was supposed to go there to cover Penn State at Illinois. I've been there for basketball, but I was supposed to be there for football. Penn State against Illinois in 2008, and that was the week that Yahoo announced no more traveling. The economy was crashing and everything, and so I never made that trip. So Penn State would be my first choice. Oregon would be my second choice because Wisconsin is not an option. That's where I really would like to go. And then my third choice would be Ohio State because I've been there. Now, if I went on what I think it would mean to A&M and their success, I would say, yeah, Ohio State would be my first choice. But I'm talking selfishly where I want to go because I don't want A&M to be afraid to play somebody because they're good.
Yeah.
I want them to say, yeah, we'll play you because we're good too. Yeah, I said it.
I want to be there. I'm just not there right now.
And it's an amazing atmosphere at Ohio Stadium. It's a beautiful stadium, and they really know how to do it right. But don't have anything on. If you drive, don't have anything on your car that'll show allegiance to the opponent, to the visiting team, because you may come back with your tire slashed and your windows broken. And that's not a joke. People that have been there, I mean, they are think of the worst fan base in the SEC.
Oh.
Or, okay.
Baton Rouge.
Okay. And they're that of the
Big Ten.
Of the Big Ten.
Interesting.
But I've been there, and I had guys accost me just because I'm walking back on my way to the airport, and some guy said I can't say the words. They yell, grown men after 2 hours after the game, drinking beer in like 20-degree temperature. All of them had on a hoodie with an A.J. Hawk jersey over it, every one of them. And they just see me walking down with my coat and start, hey, that word that starts with a P, with a feline quality to it. And I'm like, what? I'm just walking to my, this is,
that doesn't happen to you in normal life?
No, it doesn't. No, but, so, yeah, I mean, I've been there twice. It's been quite an experience. But as far as, if you're asking me as far as what it means to A&M, then I would go, I still say, even in a bad year, Penn State still carries more cachet nationally than Oregon.
Agree.
Oh, yeah.
But that flight to Oregon. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, but the drive to Penn State. Okay. There's no easy way to get to Happy Valley.
Okay. Where do you fly to?
Well, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, or if you can get in the closest, I guess, would be Harrisburg, where you fly right over 3 Mile Island coming in. I don't know if that means anything to you, but there was almost a nuclear disaster there in the 80s. So, and then you have to drive through the mountains a couple of hours.
All right, we got to drop it there. McGee, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
The Nittany Mountains. Hence the name Nittany Lions.
When we come back, Michael Earley will join us here to talk a little Aggie baseball. That's next on TexAgs Live. And we're back here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. A little baseball to chat. Michael Earley in studio. Richard Zane here to talk a little baseball with me. Coach Earley, how are you, sir?
Doing well. How are you?
Good, man. Tuesday felt a little different, right? Started off with a little deficit. Just take me through your thoughts after that one.
It's like kind of welcome to baseball, right? And Tuesday games. But, we won the game, which is important, right? Did the things we needed to do to win. Pitching was awesome. Hitters took a little longer to make adjustments than we would like. Just a quick reminder that it's tough. It's hard. But they were resilient, got the hits when they needed to get the hits, made the plays on defense. But the pitching and defense allowed us to have that little bit of, if you call it a lull, I think we had, 8 runs coming off a weekend. But it's, I was pleased. It was good to, feel some pressure. Like you felt it the whole game. Even when you got up by 5, it just felt like a game. And you're going to need to learn to win like that. So I thought overall it was a really good performance by our guys.
You say welcome to baseball, and that kind of epitomizes the Tuesday night game because it's the 4th collegiate game for a couple true freshmen, the first start for another. And those 3 guys, Nico Partita, Boston Kellner, Jorian Wilson, they lead your offense. And I know we talked about them post-game on Tuesday, but those opportunities don't really lend itself to deeper dives into what makes each guy special. So beginning with Nico, what have you seen from him both offensively and defensively thus far? And then the plan for him to be a two-way guy, what does that look like as you move forward?
Yeah, just from an offensive standpoint, like he does like when he's really good, he moves really slow in the box. Like it looks like his body's doing relatively nothing and his hands are lightning. Now when he gets in trouble, it's the opposite of that, but for a freshman, he does it really, really well. He's been awesome defensively. And just as far as him two-waying, like he will pitch at some point, but it's going to be when we feel like we really, really need him. We're not trying to push that just because we feel like he's super valuable offensively. And he's just super talented, just like the other guys. And Boston, same thing. Boston's makeup and character, like 80 grade, like off the charts, and he's a really, really good player, and he's definitely not scared. And then I think he got a taste of Jorian, and it was awesome. Like he's super talented, still has a lot of work to do, like all of them. But yeah, I mean they're a good group and they fit in. I think the part about them that makes them unique for me and just comfortable playing is like as a coach, like you want to trust. Like there's a trust factor in guys that you play, and it's just unique that we have so many guys that young that you trust. Like the ball's hit to them or they come up in a big moment, you just feel really good about their preparation and what they're going to do.
How important is it for young players to get success early when they can, considering like they've always, if you're playing in the SEC, you've always been one of the top players, but to have that little adversity and maybe get through it quicker?
Yeah, it definitely helps. And they got adversity coming. And, I think Nico, maybe batting average-wise, doesn't tell the whole story about what he's done, but it's just a reminder that baseball is really, really hard. And you're right, like these guys have been by far the best players on every team they've played on. And you're going up against, your own teammates that are really, really good, and they were the same thing, and guys you're playing against. But these guys, they're good, right? They're going to have their bumps for sure, but it's important for them to get in there because we think not only can they help us this year, it's like you just want to continue to build the foundation. Like those guys, and there's a few other freshmen, like those are the next guys, right? You want to keep building that underneath, the Grahovics, the Sorrells. You bring in a guy like Chris, and you want that floor, I guess, so to speak, or the freshmen to, you want to raise that so they can be the next guys, and you just keep it going.
One of the guys who managed adversity in the game was Gavin Lyons. He gives up back-to-back home runs on back-to-back pitches and then settles in. Really nice night for him. We've seen him pitch out of the bullpen already and get a start. What does he provide your pitching staff as a whole, and what do you foresee his role as the spring progresses?
It's such a tricky situation because you want to win every game, right? And it's going to be with him like as much as I'm taking 5 innings on a Tuesday from a starter any day of the week, but it's also like if he's going to be that good, you get into weekend play and conference play, like you might need some innings there. So we're not just going to pigeonhole him to just Tuesdays. But he did pitch this weekend and then came in and pitched. Now we didn't think he was going to go. I think he went 81 pitches. That might change a little bit about this weekend, but his just ability to throw that little cutter slider now, like he has a really unique arm slot for any old school baseball fans. I call him Walter Johnson. If you don't know who that is, look it up. You'll understand what I'm saying, but it's like that low slot kind of rides and runs a little bit from a unique, and then he's able to go here, which that's a really tough pitch to hit, and just the ability now to get around it and make the ball just go that way too made him really, really difficult for those guys.
He spoke post-game about dealing with some stuff in the offseason mentally and how Jason Kelly was a huge resource for him and helping him bounce back and find some success early on in the year just last Tuesday. What does Jason, JK, provide the staff as a whole, not just as a mentor on the ins and outs of pitching, but the mental side of the game as well and everything off the field?
JK is just a complete baseball guy. Like, it's all he does. It's similar to me, but he's just been doing it for a long time, and it's just ingrained in him. From the mental side to knowing bunt defenses to knowing when to pick off to calling pitches. He's just a really good baseball coach. And being a really good baseball coach, to me, is not just the X's and O's of baseball, like understanding the mental game of it, because it's such a game of failures, and especially at the collegiate level, similar to what we talked about, is some of these guys have been really good, and you come in against really good players, so the mental side of the game is tough, and JK's always been really, really good with that, like getting guys to perform at their best when they don't feel their best, and he has been in his office all the time, and I think they talk about more than just baseball, and it's about life. And I think, again, my level of appreciation for a coach starts with how much they care, and JK's as well as all the other guys that are off the charts.
In the early part of the season, how does your brain work on when you play people? There's a couple guys we haven't seen yet. Do you feel the urge to get them in early, or is it situational based on, hey, well, I'm trying to win this game, and then we'll worry about that?
Before the season, you have plans, or I've learned that you can't have them. That's even as an assistant coach. Like, I'm going to play this guy on Saturday, this guy on Sunday. Well, the guy you're going to take him out for just went 3 for 4. You really taking that guy out? So I don't have plans. Like, you want to get guys in, and you have, I have scenarios. If I ran for this guy, would I go here? Will I go here? That's all kind of, I want to say predetermined, but I don't want to be thinking about it in the moment. But as far as like if guys are playing well, like you're going to play.
Right.
And, a perfect scenario for a coach is the first 9 you ever put out to start the season, those guys just play the whole year because they do awesome. That's not the case, and we've had a couple of switches. But, I mean, yeah, you always want to get guys in. Like, I want everyone to play. Now, the important thing for these guys to understand, and we try to do our best, and I feel like we do a good job keeping them prepared, but they have to stay ready because you never know when that moment's coming. And if you're not prepared for it, opportunity is opportunity, right? And it doesn't always come at the best time. It might be the 8th inning, and you've been sitting there all day, and it's like, hey, Richard, you're hitting, you're on deck. It's just what it is, right? So you got to make the most of it. And it's like those guys didn't play a lot, and the guys didn't pitch a lot. They all did live yesterday on Wednesday. And I've seen a lot of players coming out of those Wednesday lives, whether on the mound or in the batter's box. Like, we're paying attention, and that's how you give you a little extra opportunity to get in there.
You don't want me to take an at-bat, I promise you. I wasn't good at all. That's why I sit here and talk about it. I don't know if David was hinting at anything, but we haven't seen Josh Stewart yet, right? What's the plan for him? And I know scenarios change.
Stewart's great. Yeah, I mean, if you had a crystal ball, which you don't in baseball, when you play a weekend, right, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, game gets, out of hand, we got it. We're not going to use him. We're not going to use Juan. Saturday, same thing.
Yep.
We're not using those guys. We got Sunday. Sunday comes along, and we get 3 innings to go, and we go to fresh, and that's what he needs to do. And, I mean, it's just what it is, right? And, I mean, Juan Vargas, for instance, like he played at Tennessee Tech. You don't think I want to pitch him that series? Like, but look at the different inning he threw in on Tuesday. Like, that was way more important for the team. And then, we got to the thought process was we went Vargas because we wanted Stewie behind Fresh, right? We think Stewie's a better strike thrower than Juan. Juan was great, but just to this point, we didn't want to go Stewie, Fresh, and then Juan behind him. That's just how we had it lined up, and, that's just how it went. Like, if I could go back in time, you throw him on Friday,
right?
No doubt. But, you stack the guys for Sunday, didn't work out. Tuesday, just not how it panned out. He's going to pitch. He's going to pitch soon.
Awesome.
I may just start him. So
I appreciate the way you laid it out, though, because it totally makes sense. Like, in my head, like, you're watching, like, I wonder if Josh is okay. And then the way you laid it out makes total sense.
It was a perfect storm, and, like, you just don't, like, you want to stay stacked for Sunday. if you know or even Saturday, if you knew, you just don't.
You just don't know.
You don't know, and it's like I don't want to put this guy in on Saturday when we're up by whatever, and then him be a little less tomorrow. Which I know he needs to get in there just because he hasn't pitched, but we think really highly of him. Like he hasn't pitched in a game. I think he's going to be just fine with that, but he's been really, really good, and it just hasn't quite fit, and it's almost been a perfect scenario for it not to fit.
Makes perfect sense not to throw one of your leverage arms in non-leverage situations.
Probably, hopefully we stay in those non-leverage and we just have to put him in. That would be cool.
How good was it to see Bear respond on Tuesday?
That was great. And on Saturday, he hit that double on the opposite field gap, which is good. Bear's a good player. When Bear overswings, Bear's not good. When Bear stays under control, he's really good. It's as simple as that. We make some mechanical adjustments, but when he stays in that 70 to 75% range with his swing, it plays. When that dial ticks up, it doesn't play.
Yeah.
Really, really hard to do when you're in there in the box and the heart's pumping and it's mano a mano, but he was really good behind the plate. Really, really good behind the plate.
I asked you last weekend about the difficulties of prepping for a team on opening weekend when you have no real scouting report on them because they haven't played a game. And
we
you're
get
getting a second.
We get it again.
Because the Ivy League always starts a week late. So what do you know about Penn, even though they haven't played a game yet?
It's funny, even Corpus, we have these scouting systems, right? And sometimes the stuff just doesn't. We didn't have.
Really?
That was similar.
Even though they had played 4 games by the time
they came in? Their Friday one was on there late, and the video was from outer space. It wasn't awesome. So same thing with Penn, right? So this is same scenario as opening weekend, which part of me likes. It's just go play and compete. We're going to get information on them. I just have so much respect for their program. I can't tell you, in them and Columbia too, just with Schott, Appel, Wyatt Hensler. I asked those guys so much about those Ivy League programs because the level of just team and care is I've never seen before, and even those guys brought that there. So my respect level for Penn's program is through the roof. I mean, I saw it firsthand when they came in here and beat us. I got to coach their players. I think their coaches do an unbelievable job. I'm their recruiting coordinator. Mike, he's an awesome dude. Those years where he had those guys at Penn, could anyone have possibly done a better job recruiting than that guy did? So I think they're really good. They're a scary ball club just because I feel like that program is so team. They're willing to do anything to win, and there's no individuals.
They're really experienced offensively, too. So what have you leaned on Wyatt and maybe Jackson for scouting report on their top
I tell you
guys?
what, those guys are loyal to both programs where they're going to stay pretty neutral. Now, I did remind them that they weren't working out at Penn all offseason, and maybe I'll remind them that again. But no, they don't. They're pretty right here in the middle. Wyatt is throwing out the first pitch on Friday, though.
Oh, cool. Is Coach Elko going to catch it?
I don't know.
You've mentioned before having guys that can plug and play and how important that is to you. And just talk to us a little bit about the depth of this team in particular and how you've already had to plug and play.
Yeah. I think we have depth, right? And you got to, in order for that to be true, the guys got to get in, you got to show it. But so early on, being able to put in Chestnut and then plug it in Jorian, I think we got it in some spots. And yeah, it feels good to, put a guy in and not feel like you skip a beat. It's a different type of player, gives you a different type of look, but it's just having Travis, and he's the guy right now, and just putting him in there, it's just all right, cool. He brings a different dynamic, but he's just a really good player. And, Jorian, who still needs experience into play, you feel pretty good about putting a guy on the field that looks like that and can swing it like that. He's going to strike out a little bit. He's going to make some mistakes, but when he connects, he's going to hit it pretty far.
Anytime a projected first rounder misses any amount of time, even if it's 1 or 2 games, there's question marks or people start asking questions on our board. So what's the latest with Chris Okoye?
Yeah, I think this little deal got a little bit sideways. Here's the thing with me, and I know I've had a buddy who tells me, sometimes you don't give the great answer on an injury or this, that. I am always, leaning towards protecting my players, right? Complete protection of them. And I don't really care what anyone else thinks. Now, I have a duty here to be candid about information and all of that. Chris is fine, okay? He we said he wasn't feeling right. Then it turned into Chris is sick. And I just never corrected anyone. He had a little bit of a stiff back. He's fine. It's precautionary. Tomorrow, we'll see, up in the air, he's going to be okay. But the amount of texts and calls you get from scouts, and it's just like, and now I've gotten the sick question, and, well, why is he in the dugout? And I was like, I never said he was sick. I just said he wasn't feeling right, and I moved on. I wasn't trying to be any sort of way, but just like, everything's okay. It's not that deep. We don't think at this point, and he should be back out there soon.
Awesome. I think some of it is just that we live in this information age that you can't get enough information.
Yeah, and then we get to SEC play, there's no, we got the whole deal, right? And it's just like, these guys, everyone knows now in the scouting world, so he's going to continue to get asked. But I just always feel a duty, like, it's none of your business, but it is type of deal. And you know what I mean? I get caught up in that a little bit, where I'm like just always on the side. If I'm protecting my guys, and everyone else can find out later.
Last thing for you, through 4 games, how are you feeling?
I feel solid, right? I don't know. It's just those guys in the dugout were awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, they just had a good feel about them. Up, down, the conditions. It was a good solid start. And we found a lot to work on, right? We watched a lot of video talking about we want to keep getting better throughout the year. Like, we didn't crush them on the field. We did the stuff we had to do, but we watched a ton of video on the base running side, and none of it was positive. Like, we have days where it's like, here's the stuff you did well. Like, Cliff had 7 or 8 videos lined up of all stuff that they did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, let's get better at that. And I just, they've just responded all year. And now we got to see how we respond when we're successful, right? Like, we came in, just not talked about a lot, and have a little bit of success, like staying on that just even keel. And I think we got the right leadership in the locker room, so I don't anticipate any changes.
Rotation the same this weekend?
Yes.
Awesome.
Coach Earley, thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
All right, we'll hit a break here. We'll come back. I think a little rodeo talk on the other side is TexAgs Live. I think that was a great interview. Coach Earley was fantastic. I mean, he's always so kind, but I don't know. There was some good information in that interview. And it's TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Hour number 2 of the program. Thought we were going to do a little rodeo talk. We'll probably push that back a couple days. We'll certainly try to get to that here soon. Let's go back to the Angry Elephant News and Social Censor. Cooper Patterson, can you tell me what's on TexAgs today? And before you answer that question, I want to brag about something that's on TexAgs today. Are you familiar with Houston Thomas?
Yeah, I know Houston Thomas.
Had a great chat with him yesterday. I had 2 chats with him, maybe 3. We did an interview in studio, one of our Huddle series interviews at the NIL. Awesome conversation. Then we went upstairs. Well, he went upstairs with Richard, did 5 and 5. You'll appreciate this. The reason I'm telling you is I heard him talking to Richard about his favorite athlete. Do you know who his favorite athlete of all time is?
Yeah, I think I might have heard. Who did he say?
James Harden.
Wow.
So we chatted, and I killed his boyhood idol. I destroyed it. I went straight AK-47 on his dreams. But what a great young man. I really enjoyed talking to him. He had a lot of questions about what I do for a living, the industry of media. We just chatted for a long time outside of the studio. It was a great chat. But the stuff we talked about football-wise was great. That I know is on TexAgs today.
He was also really good at Papa Shot, set the athlete record with
81.
81.
Is that right?
So
what did he do on that?
What's that?
In the 60s or something?
81.
80. Good for him.
Mm-hmm. Real good. Well, like you're saying, we have 4 NIL interviews from yesterday, but that's on TexAgs today. You can still go watch it if you go subscribe. TexAgs.com/subscribe. Am I correct?
Correct.
So we have 4 NIL interviews: Houston Thomas, Angelo McCollum, we had Ricky Gibson, and last but not least, we had Isaiah Horton, transfer wide receiver from Alabama. So 4 transfers. Go learn about them. We had huddle reports and take 5s from all those guys. But today, we also have Olin and Luke's articles on Texas A&M basketball's comeback win over Ole Miss. Jason Howell, he has around the SEC recruiting and trends. And later today, we will have a read report with Luke Evangelist. We will have a baseball press conference, more with Coach Earley. We'll have Clayton Freshcorn and Nico Partita. They will have their NIL interviews to standout Aggie baseball players. And also we will have Follow the Money, which I believe is with Luke, right?
Luke is on Follow the Money?
Who's Follow the Money? I'm
John Heidke. No, that's with Dr. Lofton, John Heidke, and your host, Andrew
John
Monaco.
Heidke. He's awesome. I had him in a class one time.
I could not. Okay, for a moment. I hope Heidke's listening. Could you imagine Luke on that show? That would be a disaster.
I've never seen it before. I guess I'll have to
tune
in.
Could you imagine?
If you actually want to learn something, listen to Follow the Money. If you want to lose brain cells, maybe watch Read Report.
No, Read Report's
Just
great.
kidding. I know.
The basketball wise, Luke. You know what? Luke is actually. He's very smart, like extremely smart. But I think sometimes his character,
the emotions,
I just don't put it with those 3. I think Andrew Monaco can talk to anybody. He is, as we've mentioned, one of the nicest people in town. I've said that about 3 or 4 people. Royce Hickman, shout out. Logan Lee, Andrew Monaco. I know there's another one.
I should have said Royce for who was the coolest person alive.
Royce Hickman?
Yeah.
Royce Hickman's pretty darn cool. It's my guy. Love that dude. Anyway, great stuff on TexAgs today. Go become a premium subscriber. I loved Coach Earley's answer about Josh Stewart, right? Because, and it's interesting how we live in this bubble, right? When I say we, as diehard Aggie sports fans, as media that cover everything A&M, TexAgs does cover everything A&M. More on that later. Little foreshadowing? Yeah. Anyway.
Tease.
Huh? Tease to next week. I wonder what we're going to be covering, guys. Anyway, or doing. Probably be doing some interviews.
Maybe running.
I might be running. I might be cold. Might be really cold.
Uncomfortably cold.
Uncomfortably cold. Nick, you're going to be busy next week, too. Who is here? Oh, only 7 minutes late. Cool. So maybe we hit a break here, put him on the other side, and text Aaron Torres that we're pushing him back a few minutes if he can. All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back with Dr. Roger next on TexAgs Live. Right now, Brazos Running Company. They are your locally owned Aggie-owned and operated specialty running store with an outstanding selection of running gear, shoes, and brands like Brooks, On, and Hoka. So if you're a runner, a walker, or interested in fitness at all, the right shoe makes all the difference in the world. I've been there and they've helped me out. I've gotten Hoka's there, you name it. I've gotten my Brooks there. They have it all. They also have Vuori. They have Duck Camp. They have Turtle Box. They have Stanley Cups. It is the Brazos Running Company. And by the way, they have a side company, MasonHay.com. All right, Mike Nugent's daughters are doing great work with MasonHay.com. They're Aggies, by the way, located at Century Square, by the way. I said, by the way, 9 times. Let's make it 10 times. Below the Star Cinema Grill, by the way, in College Station. It is the Brazos Running Company and MasonHay.com. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's talk a little rodeo, the Texas Aggie Rodeo at the Brazos Expo Center this weekend, February 20th through 21st. Dr. Roger Hannegriff with us. He's the Instructional Associate Professor and also the University Rodeo Coach. How are you, sir?
I'm great. And you?
I'm great, thank you.
Excellent.
So take me through, how did you get involved?
Yeah, I myself rodeoed in college and been a rodeo coach at a couple of other universities. And my sons ended up going here to A&M as well as I did as well, graduated earlier, and had an opportunity to come here as a professor and also coach the rodeo team. First ever coach of Aggie Rodeo, even though it's been around since 1919. First hired coach for the position.
So was it just a volunteer position beforehand, or was there nobody involved? How did that work?
Exactly. Good question. Dr. Al Wagner was really the last coach that's been involved, but all the coaches prior that helped keep Aggie Rodeo going have all been volunteered, always faculty. There's been extension agents as well as faculty, and then Dr. Wagner's carried it for nearly 30 years. I was volunteering, just helping because I knew the team. My sons had started going to school here. I was teaching with Texas A&M Kingsville, but a lot remote, so I was helping and volunteering, and then they created a coach position, an endowment in his name, Dr. Wagner, and that is actually what got me here.
How'd you get into rodeo?
Just as a young person, high school, family, had cattle like most, got into college, rodeoed in college at Sam Houston State, graduated, ended up getting back into academia, and just thought, what a great place to serve as a volunteer, as a faculty. But rodeo, the sport's grown, the levels have grown, recruitment's grown, efforts for facilities and support for students has grown. So these positions like mine have grown into be a real position at a university.
How'd your sons end up at A&M? What was their path here?
They were pretty much indoctrinated early, as all good Aggies are, coming to football games. That's where you get them hooked. But they're both majoring in different areas of agriculture, and this is the place to be.
Okay. Well, talk to me about this upcoming weekend. What can we expect?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We have the Cowboy Channel. It's coming to video and televise the event. It starts on Friday and Saturday. Those are the main performance nights. The gates open at 6. Rodeo starts promptly at 7. Last year we had a large crowd, both sides of the arena filled. We have a VIP for our sponsors upstairs. We have lots of booths and expos for people to come and check companies out. We have a lot of supporters that help support our rodeo team. So a lot of them come out and set up booths. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Speaking of supporters, Chip Ravello from Catalyst, our text line, the Catalyst Pure Performance text line, he linked us up and he just started becoming a big fan and started supporting you all.
He did. He found us through social media. I've got a great team of students that lead that. Shout out to Celie Simpton that really leads that group. But we've done a great job on social media, and Chip just saw us and said, hey, how can I help? And so they've been a great supporter.
All right, for somebody who doesn't go to the rodeo often, like tell them a little bit what they can expect. Like, hey, I'm willing to go. Let me learn about it.
Yeah, I love it. So our college rodeos are much like pro rodeos. We have every single event the pros do. So the bareback riding, all the rough stock events, bull riding, bronc riding. The classic events are those roping events, calf roping, team roping. We have a girls breakaway. A lot of the girls' college events are really specialized. So there's women's goat tying as well, which is a really exciting event. Girls, enter the one end of the arena and go to the other end of the arena, step off a horse, tie 3 legs of a goat, just like you would tie, like the guys tie the calves. And they'll do all that in 6.8 seconds.
Wow.
So a lot of athleticism across all of the events. We also have the steer branding, which is our special collegiate event. So all the colleges, all the organizations across campus can enter. So we've got 8 steer branders each night. That'll be a lot of fun to watch.
So Nick Savage, you met him earlier. His dad was on the rodeo team here, diehard fan. So he helped me come up with some things to throw at you. All right. So tell me some of the barrel racers, some of the guys we can look out for.
Tonight, we have quite a few up tonight. Celie Simpton, mentioned social media chair, is one of our regional leaders. Devin Young is another one. McKinley Pascal is another one that'll be up. These are some of our top leaders of our team. A&M's girls team represent, I think, 6 of the top 10 spots in our region. So we have a really strong set of barrel racers that represent A&M.
As you can tell, I'm a big-time rodeo guy. I'm actually very interested in going. Nick told me in my ear as I asked the question, he goes, there's girls that typically are doing the barrel racing. So
that's it. Yes.
Team roping?
We have several team ropers. Chet Fritch is one of our top team ropers. Ropes with another college athlete. What's unique about college rodeo is we're competing against all the other schools. But in the team roping, a school from A&M can have another student from another university partner up, and they will compete as a team. Both schools get points out of those. So each university will be represented here at our, I should have mentioned that earlier, all the universities in our southern region will be here. We compete against them, but in the team roping, they partner up. But Chet French is one of our team ropers that's done really well. We've got Thatcher Bowman and Mert Stewart are another team ropers that are up tonight, I believe, or Friday night in the performance. So we've got some good team ropers.
One that we all hear a lot about, bull riding. So tell me about some of the bull riders.
We actually have one bull rider, Hunter Thompson, that's actually injured. So he will not be entered. That's one of the events that's tough for us to get athletes for. But bull riding is represented by lots of other universities.
So, A&M's got a proud tradition of politicians, athletes that are playing at the highest level. How about some professional rodeo stars?
Yeah, there's quite a few that have been in our list. Gavin French is one that comes to the top right away. He is actually just in the finals round in Fort Worth. He's got injured in San Antonio, I should say, and he got injured in San Antonio as well. So we're hoping he can get him healthy for our performance here. But he's gone on to the pro ranks. He's gone for his rookie. So he's done a lot. Lucy Richards is one of our upcoming athletes on the women's side and the women's breakaway that her sister Madeline Richards has gone on as well in the pro circuit, as well as is Lucy. But Lucy's one that's upcoming in the pros as well.
How can people help support the Aggie Rodeo team?
It's a great question. So AggieRodeo.com is our main website. And right on that website is where you can get your tickets. Okay. That's also a great place to look for our support levels. We're self-funded. We run our own scholarship programs through some foundation efforts, but really supporting our team. And this event is really pivotal for our year.
And then if folks can't make it out this weekend, are there ways to watch?
There are. The Cowboy Channel app is where it will be live streamed. So if you have that app, you can get that and download it and watch it live. We also have Slacks where the rest of the performance all happens. You can only put 10 in each event in the Friday and Saturday night. So you end up running a lot on Friday morning and Saturday morning. So all of that will be actually live streamed on the Cowboy Channel app.
Dr. Roger Hannegriff, thank you so much for your time, sir. Appreciate you.
Hey, thank you.
We'll get you back, okay?
All right, thanks.
All right, we'll hit a break. When we come back next on TexAgs Live, Aaron Torres from AT Online or Aaron Torres Online and Fox Sports Radio next on TexAgs Live. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. People asking me to get my rodeo hat. I'm not scared. Let's do it. It's time for Around College Athletics and Rodeo, brought to you by Milliken Reserve, a College Station community featuring homes, trails, farms, and wide open spaces, and a mission to build a healthy community around nature. Take part in the Milliken Reserve community with a Conservancy membership. Learn more at millikenreserve.com. We go to the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. That's where we find our good friend Aaron Torres from Aaron Torres Online and Fox Sports Radio. AT, what up?
What's up, buddy? What is this rodeo? You going to the rodeo?
I don't know. I mean, the rodeo coach has left us a couple tickets. I might get to go. I don't know how many are going to be left over, but I might. The rodeo coach came in and, dude, I think I could be a bull rider. Think? Maybe.
Listen, I have never been more excited to be bumped than for the rodeo coach. Also, do you guys still have the like top 5 in the country meat judging team? Is that still a thing?
I think so. I think we're the best in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. We judge
you
meat.
think so? What do you mean? You're Mr. Aggie.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe we're number 1 still.
These things.
And you know what? I'm proud of everything A&M does. I'm very proud. You know, top engineering school in the world, veterinarian school in the world, the Corps of Cadets, Kyle Field being the best, Aggies being everybody's boss. Yeah, I'm proud of everything A&M.
Okay, Bluebell. Is it Bluebell Park? Is that Bluebell Park?
Bluebell Park at Olsen Field, yes, sir.
That also looks like a great place to watch a game, too. Not going to lie.
AT, I remember a time you were in Texas not long ago that you were thinking about making the drive here, but you watched your team win a national championship, so it's okay.
I did. Yeah, no, I did. It was tough. It was a Friday night home series for the Aggies. They tell me Houston's a hop, skip, and a jump, and was totally going to do it. And I was like, you know what? It's Friday night. Do I really want to drive an hour away? You know, Final Four. I probably got up to no good that night. But you know what, though? The Aggies, I'm sure, and that's all that matters.
AT, are you in an elevator or something?
You know, I'm outside. It's raining, but I asked your guy, and he said that I sounded good. But now you're telling me I don't sound good? Is that what you're telling me?
The moment I brought it to air, you started sounding great. But in a moment, it'll go bad. Hey, so let's talk about this Aggie basketball team. Man, there was a moment I was like, dude, the season's over yesterday. There was a moment, and now the season's alive, and they control their destiny.
Yeah, it's actually crazy because I just want to be fully transparent. Honesty is the best policy. That's what my wife tells me all the time whenever I'm in trouble. So I kind of stopped watching the Aggie game. It was out of the rotation. Had the Arkansas-Alabama double overtime game was on. You know, my UConn Huskies were melting down at home to a team that's 13-13, and so I just kind of put it off. And then, credit to our Torres on Texas A&M account. For people who don't know, we have a separate Twitter page just for A&M stuff. My intern Andrew helps me with that, and he's tweeting out victory celebration gifts. And I'm like, wait, what happened? And so, I like to, knowing I'm coming on with you, always watch the Aggies and be prepared. And I appreciate the platform that you give me. I don't really have a lot of insight other than that it was essentially, to your point, a must-win game. You cannot lose to what is essentially the worst team in the SEC. I don't know if in the standings they're actually in 16th place, but it was just a loss that you couldn't take. And I'm not totally sure how it happened, but it didn't happen. And the Aggies get the victory over Chris Beard and Ole Miss.
Look, being a prisoner of the moment, you can look at it multiple ways, right? You can look at like, man, you barely beat Ole Miss. That team lost 7 straight. That Ole Miss team plays everybody tight. And oh, by the way, the SEC is always tight. And there was a game or two, Alabama, for instance, Missouri, for instance, that went the other way that was super tight. So you take them however you get them, right?
There's zero doubt. And I think the other thing, too, that's the key part. You take them however you can get them. I'm not of the belief, especially in basketball, which is like a 40-game-a-year sport, is that, like, to me, in football, if you keep winning close games, if you keep losing close games, it becomes a problem because you only have 12 data points during the regular season. To me, in SEC play, listen, even if Ole Miss isn't the best team or a top 5 team in the league or whatever, they're a capable team with a more than capable coach and capable talent. And I'm just never going to criticize a team for finding a way to win when they're not at their best. I mean, pick any team. Again, the UConn Huskies, top 5 team in the country, lost to a 14 team at home yesterday. So I'm just not in the business of being overly critical. I think it gets to a point where you win a lot of close games against bad teams. It becomes a problem. That's not who I think A&M is. And so I give them credit for finding the way to get to victory. And like you said, keeping pretty much everything alive in the SEC right now, as far as the SEC tournament seeding, all that stuff. So,
AT, you're my college basketball guy, right? So I know you pay attention to everything. I know Mick Cronin has gone viral for comments and being mean to people. I didn't listen to his comments. Can you just let me know? Can you just let me know what's happening with Mick Cronin?
Yeah, I could let you know what's happening. He's a jerk. That's what's basically happening. No, I mean, that's really what it really boils down to is, listen, he's kind of, first of all, I'll say this. I live in LA. I think it's officially established that basically the 4 West Coast schools in every other than football are just royally getting screwed. I actually went back and did the math. The 4 SEC schools have taken 22 cross-country road trips at this point. In other words, I call a road trip more than one game on the East Coast. They have now swept those cross-country road trips on 2 of 22 occasions. So these jobs have become increasingly tougher just because of the amount of travel that is now involved with them. And so I think the combination of the travel, the struggles, the fact that, UCLA is often playing in front of 8,000 people at home, then they have to go on the road and play in front of 18,000 people, say at Michigan State. I think it's all starting to wear on him. And I think, he's had some semi-funny, post-game commentaries about himself, about blame me. The one on whatever it would have been Tuesday night, it just crossed the line. They had so for people who don't know the context, UCLA had a player who played at Michigan State last year. We know in this portal world, you're just going to have these crossovers sometimes. And so he was essentially asked, what do you think about the student section, which was actually very respectful of the former Michigan State player now at UCLA. And he basically said, I could care less about, I could care less about another school student section. But then he went on to say, this is the dumbest question I've ever heard, blah, blah, blah. And, you and I have been in all sorts of press conferences. I will readily admit I haven't always asked perfect questions, but there's a right way and a wrong way to not answer a question that you simply don't want to answer. And it crossed the line from, hey, that was a bad question, or I deem it to be a bad question, to that was just me. And so I give credit. I haven't seen anything that everybody has said, but it feels pretty universal that people are like, dude, even if I know Mick Cronin, even if I like Mick Cronin, it just went to a place it didn't have to go. Mick Cronin, but for UCLA as well.
All right, another one. I know what's happening with Darren Peterson, but I'm not understanding what's happening with Darren Peterson. He was sick one day, right? But what happened yesterday?
So, and by the way, I know we're up against it, so if I go on, just cut me off. I won't be offended. It's pretty nuanced. But what I would say is, I was on this pretty early where there were these weird circumstances where he would play 15, 18, 20 minutes in the first half and look like the best player in the country. And then he just wouldn't play in the second half. And at first it was a hamstring and then it was cramps. But even when it was cramps, he wasn't really dealing with it like it was cramps. He wasn't stretching. He wasn't doing anything. And so then he had the flu against Arizona. And then last night it went back to he's awesome in the first half, hits a shot to start the second half, signals to the bench, doesn't come back in. It's embarrassing. I don't know if he's ducking competition. I don't know if he's load managing. I don't know if he only wants to play when he's 100%. But this is so far beyond normal. And I'll just wrap by saying Arkansas, Alabama, Darius Acuff, who's going to be a lottery pick, played 50 minutes in a double overtime game every single minute. AJ DeBonsa played 39 minutes in a loss last night. This is just embarrassing even embarrassing for Kansas. It's just embarrassing for the kid at this point as well.
And last thing for you, how about Alabama and that big win?
I was thinking about this. I'm going to talk about it in my show. I'm doing my show this morning. It's just sad to me because that 3-week Charles Bediako conversation took away from the fact that Nate Oates is a very good coach And, last night they win in double overtime. It was probably the game of the year. It felt like the game that everybody was like, March is coming. College basketball is taking center stage. It was probably the best game that I've seen all year. And so it's just disappointing that we had to spend 3 weeks of our lives on a Charles Bediako discourse that should have never happened. Alabama's now won 4 in a row, 3 in a row without him. And they themselves are looking quietly like a pretty good team here down the home stretch in the SEC.
AT, great stuff, buddy. Enjoy your show. Talk to you soon.
All right, brother. Take care, man. We'll talk next week. Take care.
Yep. Aaron Torres on TexAgs Live on the Bubby's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Probably in a bathroom or in an attic. I heard some echoing there. We go to Cooper Patterson at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center here in the closing minutes of the segment. What do you have for us, Coop?
So do you remember your interview with Boone Niederhofer?
Of course. They get started Saturday, right?
It'll be Saturday at 3 a.m.
Okay.
He'll participate in the 4-man bobsled event Saturday at 3 a.m. There are 4 athletes, including the driver, or also known as pilot, and a brakeman who will push the sled at the start. Crew pushes the sled for roughly 50 meters before jumping in, reaching speeds of over 90 miles an hour. They finished 4th place at the 4-man bobsleigh event in the 2025 World Championship held in Lake Placid.
Watch. I
David,
always know when Nick's got something good to add.
Yeah. Who would you have on if we made a TexAgs bobsled team? Who would you pick? Let's just say you have to be on it. So 3 other TexAgs employees on the TexAgs bobsled team.
So 2 other employees. I'm going to be in the middle. Okay.
Okay.
Bronny up top. Okay.
Okay.
You right? Just more speed and power.
I agree.
And then Kay Nagley. Right? Kay Nagley, I think, she's probably the most fit person at TexAgs.
Facts.
So I'd say Kay Nagley.
She's the pusher, or whoever.
Or should I don't know.
I guess they all push.
Yeah, I mean it's a team sport. Should Bronny be in the back? I don't know. Like to me, I feel like you want top
more
speed.
mass in the front. So let's put Bronny up front.
Bronny up front, and then if there's a crash, he absorbs a lot of the pain.
I agree. Yeah.
Right? And then we save Kay.
It's like an airbag.
But Kay's the most talented one and the most physically gifted, so she's in the back.
I like that team.
I don't know if that works. We'll be back. Go ahead, Cooper.
We're back from the break. We're at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. I'm going to kick it to David.
No. You asked to lead a segment, intro a segment. It's got to be more than 9 seconds.
Oh, we're in the David Gardner. This is TexAgs Live presented by David Gardner.
Give us like a thought, like a sports thing to think about, because we're about to talk some hoops. Off the dome. No notes. Just
no
go.
Notes. I really liked the core uniforms.
I did too. It's TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio. We go to the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Logan Lee, our dear friend, joining the program. Logan, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, Nuño. How are you doing?
Well, you know what? A lot better after the last 3 minutes of last night's game, because you know me well enough. When my sports teams don't do well, I'm kind of a moody person. Like, I don't like anybody. I don't want to chat. I don't want to high five you. I just want to be mad. And I was heading towards that direction last night. But luckily, they came back and won.
Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't be at Reed Arena. My son had a basketball game at not the exact same time. It started about 45 minutes after A&M's tip. So I got to watch the replay, and you know what? I didn't even know if they had won or lost. I stayed away from my phone, and I watched the replay, and I was in the same position you were. I was about to. Look. Bucky said it in flat out plain English. It was a must-win game for them. They felt like they had to get it done, and I felt that way the whole time. And it was looking bleak for a little while, but man, they turned it on when they needed to, and got themselves a win.
Well, interestingly, to me, I think it's because of the success that they had early on that's made the little rough patch even worse. Because had this been the team we'd gotten all season long, I would have gotten used to it. All right, they're not. But they were so good when they were good that I'm like, I need just a little bit of that. And they were that team at the end of the game.
Yeah, they got a little lost in the 4-game losing streak. But I was talking to a friend earlier this morning, and I think my thought process is I would rather them win a game like this than it be a blowout game. They needed to fight, and they needed to see that, hey, they can struggle and they can still find themselves and they can still get a win. Even if it is an Ole Miss team that is on a 7-game losing streak, I guess it's 8 games now. Even against a team like that, it's still SEC competition. You still saw Dia and Stores, who are legit players. You still had to combat that, and they fought it out and they won, and that's what they needed. They needed to know, hey, we can struggle and still win a game.
Yeah, and again, all these games, and we say this when it comes to SEC games and football, baseball, basketball, whatever it may be. It does come down to a point or two or a play or two, and that's exactly what it was. And they've been on the losing end of a couple of those, Logan, and now on the winning end of a couple.
Yeah, I mean, what was it in 5 in the 5 conference games they've lost? None of them have been more than 5 points, except for Florida and Vandy, or in the last 4-game losing streak. Outside of Vandy and Florida, you got a double overtime against Tennessee on the road. Alabama, chance to win it, or chance to take it to overtime at the buzzer. I don't even remember all their losses. Missouri, these are all close games. They had to see a close game that they could win, and they got it. I like the fact that I thought they changed it up a little, pressing all out and trapping everywhere. I go back and forth. And in games, even in games that they win, is do they need to press all out, full force, 94 feet, even if they're giving up layups? The announcers made it clear, a 23-0 fast break score. But do they need to do that all the time? Do they need to switch it up? I like Bucky staying with his process. I do. And the reason I like it is because when you look to next season, when hopefully he has a couple of more players they won't look as tired. Aggie looked tired, but you got to think, Aggie, if he had Jamie Vinson or if he had Fetty to give him a couple of breaks, he wouldn't be this tired. And next year, I think Bucky will have those guys that will be able to give guys like Aggie a break every now and then, and they won't be as tired, and they will be able to play that style of basketball 40 minutes a game.
How surprising is it, the 23-0 fast break differential there? Because am I misremembering? But I feel like this A&M team, when they're playing their best, they're getting fast break points and oftentimes winning that.
Yeah, I mean, it's super surprising. I do think that in the last, I'd say 3 games, I have felt, while watching, I have felt that A&M isn't pushing the ball as fast on offense as we were accustomed to. And I don't know if that's because their legs are gone. I don't know if that's because opponents have scouted them and are prepared for it. I don't know what the reasoning for that is. And to be honest, I don't know if that's even the truth that I'm seeing. I just feel that way in games. And then when I didn't recognize it during the game. The only time I recognized the fact that it was 23-0 in fast break points is when the announcer said it. Because obviously I'm not at the game. I'm not looking at the scoreboard. I'm not seeing everything that all the stats that are happening. But I feel like A&M hasn't played as fast on offense as we saw them at the beginning of conference play.
Nick, if you can put up those stats again, because I mean, the fact that A&M shot just 5 of 20 from the 3, and I know they hit 3 big ones down the stretch. They only hit 25% of their threes. They had more turnovers than LSU. Oh, not LSU, than Ole Miss. And the fast break that we were just talked about, to me, there's no way they're winning that game, right? But they won that game.
Yeah, you go 2 of 11 from the three-point line in the first half, and you're thinking, okay, well, second half you can count on probably 7 threes, but that didn't happen. You think, hey, we're gonna tighten up with the ball, and we're not gonna have as many turnovers. And I felt like in the second half they still had some turnovers. It's all about the fact that Bucky and his staff believe in this team, believe in their process, and they have so much confidence in their ability to coach the way that they want these players to play that the players have no choice but to go and execute and keep playing as hard as they play, which gives them a chance to win every single game. I truly believe that. I was not a huge fan of the Nolan Richardson 40 minutes of hell and fast break all the time, and Bucky coming in and saying, hey, we're going to shoot with only 7 seconds coming off the shot clock. And I really didn't understand how that was going to play out. But even though it makes this team or this A&M team tired playing that way, they have the stamina to fight through because they've been doing it the whole time. And so they can play that hard, that long, where other teams can't. And they swear them down. And that's what I talk about starting this conversation off. Next year, hopefully Bucky has the guys that more guys that can play this way. And if he does, they won't go on that 4-game losing streak. They will still be probably second or third in conference. And at this point next year, if he has a deeper roster, you wouldn't be looking at a 10 seed or a bubble conversation in the tournament. You'd be looking at a 6 or 7 seed right now. And that's, I think that's the point that makes me want to see Bucky continue to play this style, even this year, even if he doesn't have as deep of a roster as he needs. Keep playing it, keep pushing it, keep building that foundation because the future looks bright.
Logan, to me, there's several reasons down the stretch why they won, but when Rashawn Agee does what he does, and back to being the double-double guy, when Dominguez starts hitting shots again, I mean, those two guys getting going, to me, not only down the stretch, but for this team to win, and it doesn't have to be Dominguez, but Dominguez getting going, I think, also probably means something's working.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, if he's knocking down shots, it changes their team dramatically because, you know, in this last, I don't know how long of a quote-unquote slump he's been in, whether it's been 5 games or 4 games or whatever it is. You've seen the defense be able, he hasn't been that threat. Even though they know he can shoot and they don't want him to catch fire, they haven't been as quick to just smother him. The scouting report on him is close out and make him put the ball in the court. And that's what defenses have done. If you can get him firing, or Rylan Griffin, or Zach Clements, or whoever firing from the outside, it opens it up for Aggie to be a bull in a china cabinet down low. I like the fact that Josh Holloway stepped up last night and made some big plays. Grabbed 2 great offensive rebounds. You know, I think it might have been at I can't remember how much time was left in the game, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, where he single-handedly caused that 10-second violation in the backcourt, just hounding, I don't even know if it was Stores or who it was, but he had the energy, the legs, and the fortitude to, I'm going to lock up and I'm going to play defense. And that set the tone for the rest of the game for A&M. You know, I'm glad that he got that feeling and he was the catalyst for that because he hasn't played as well in SEC play. And it was good to see him out there on the court and finding some success.
Talking to Logan Lee here on TexAgs Live. All right, Logan. So now what? Like they won a game they had to win. They were expected to win. It was a little tighter than it needed to be, but you're basically right back to that exact same scenario, in my opinion, against Oklahoma.
I don't think it's as much of a must-win game. I think it's a necessary win if you want to stay out of the first 4 out type conversations. But I think Ole Miss was more of a must-win game specifically for this team, for their confidence, for the trajectory moving forward. If you lose this one, if you had lost this Ole Miss to Ole Miss, you're on a 5-game losing streak. You just lost to a team that has lost 7 in a row. It was at home. You're not looking very good. You're all out of whack. I think that this win was more of a conversation piece in the locker room to have some confidence and get that confidence back. But yes, I do think that playing Oklahoma and winning that game will keep them out of the conversation of, well, they're a bubble team now and anything can happen.
So what do you think? They need to really feel good. I mean, I've been saying 11. Olin thinks maybe 10. He says maybe 10. You know, none of us know what the committee is thinking, but you think 3 more wins and they should feel really good? Or do you think 2 is enough?
If they get 3 wins, they should feel good about it. That's 11-7 in conference. That is, I mean, the SEC is going to put how many teams are in right now? 8, 9 that Lenardi is saying.
Mm-hmm.
If you go 11-7, you're going to be in the tournament. In my opinion, if you go 10 wins, I think they need to win their first game in the conference tournament. Only because I have a feeling if they win 10 and they play that first round, that's going to be a bad loss if they were to lose that, whoever they play. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they would have to win that game to discourage the committee from having another mark against them in the bad loss column. But if they get 11, I think they should be fine. But man, like we always have every single year in this tournament conversation, if you're Texas A&M, do not leave it up to the committee to make a decision on you. You need to force their hand and say, we are in. Because if you leave it up to the committee and you're on the bubble, odds are you're not going to be in.
Yeah, man. So can this, I mean, the answer is no. I'm going to answer it for you, Logan. But can they continue not being the efficient team that gets into the 90s and mid-80s and make the tournament?
No. for two reasons. One, if they are inefficient on offense, they're going to drop a game that is going to be put in the bad loss column, and that will severely harm them. If they continue to be inefficient, if they aren't reaching the 90s, if they aren't shooting I believe Bucky says he needs 42% from the three-point line. If they aren't making their threes, then they're also going to struggle mightily against the top-end SEC schools, the Arkansas, the Kentuckys. They're going to struggle against those teams, even Texas. And that's going to look like a bad loss in regards to the score and the way they're playing. So no, you're absolutely correct in that they have to be able to find some efficient offensive production in a consistent manner.
Who's next to get hot? All right. So Ruben got hot. Rashawn got back to where he was. Holloway's played really nice, played a big part yesterday. Who's next?
Man, I'd love to see a game where Zach Clemens goes 7 of 8 from the three-point line again. I mean, that's always fun to watch. I would love to, and we haven't talked about him, and I was going to say I'd love to see Marcus Hill go off, but he kept A&M in the game. Like he attacks the basket, and some of those shots, I don't even know how he got them above the bottom of the backboard. He has a skill for slicing through the paint and scoring in unorthodox ways, and he needs to continue that. I would love to see Rylan Griffin. I would love to see him make a couple of threes, attack the basket, and not turn the ball over. A&M did a great job offensive rebounding last night, and maybe that's what led to some of the fast break points. When you have everybody crashing the glass, you don't have anybody back, and that's something that if I were paying attention to, I would look at and watch. If I were to watch the replay of the game again, I'd try to understand. Okay, we gave up this many fast break points, but was it because we crashed the glass and we got those offensive rebounds? Because without some of those offensive rebounds at the end, A&M's not winning that game. And so it's a give and a take. And, but to start it off, to come full circle, I would love to see Zach Clemens with a 7 of 8 from the three-point line and see how that plays out against Oklahoma.
Logan, I appreciate you, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, David, we'll see you.
See you, man. Logan Lee on TexAgs Live. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with more. Insurance decisions shouldn't be quick, right? I mean, well, they can be quick if your guy knows what he's doing, and my guy does. My guy's at Rollo Insurance, and your guy or woman can be there as well. Rollo Insurance is my insurance provider. They are TexAgs Live's insurance provider, and they are also the name of the studio, the Rollo Insurance Studio. They have an expertise in everything from home to auto to business and specialty coverage. Their independent agents provide tailored options specific to your needs, and they're going to take time to explain that policy to you in detailed language. Their educational approach empowers you to make informed decisions and protect your families, your home, and your auto and your business. Many clients discover better protections at competitive rates simply because they finally understand their options. Experience the difference at any of their 60-plus offices in Texas and beyond, but their headquarters right here in College Station on Highway 6. Visit rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. That's rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. 888-44-ROLLO. That is 888-44-ROLLO. And we're back. A skinny what? We're kidding. Don't say that. It's TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. The Fan Show.
Fan Show.
I think we're still presented by Prize Picks. Miranda will tell me if not.
It is on the monitor.
Okay, then we are. And I love prizepicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs to get $50 once you play in $5 lineups. All right, I'm going to start things off with people who have been on the show recently. Roy May, welcome back.
Hey, good to see you, buddy.
Kevin Ross, it's been at least a month?
It's been a minute.
Oh, wow.
Has it been longer than a month?
It's been a couple of months.
I think I've seen you, though, so maybe that's why it doesn't feel like.
Absolutely.
Chase Hernandez moved to Hawaii or something, because I don't see him anymore. Oh, he's got a family, that's why. Chase Hernandez.
I do have that.
And you live 90 minutes away.
I do.
How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. Good to be back.
Great to have you on the
see
show.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, and I know you've probably been holding on to some football takes, so at some point we got to talk football.
That's past that point at this point. So,
and I'm sure you got some too, right?
You know I'm opinionated.
Well, hopefully everybody watched the Aggie basketball game. Let's go to Cooper Patterson at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center, who's going to ask the hardest question of the morning.
Chase, because I like your Burlebo shirt, I'm going to ask you, what's on your mind?
Appreciate the compliment. No, let's talk basketball. I mean, the greatest time of basketball season's upon us. March is just a few weeks away, conference tournaments away, but big win by the Aggies last night. Much needed win. I'm sure we'll dive all the way into it, but just a great time of year. I love March Madness. I mean, college basketball. I mean, last night, Connecticut going down. I mean, you're having upsets all week. I mean, this is such an exciting time of year. And with Buckyball in year one, just doing some things that not a whole lot of people probably expected. I mean, this is a very fun program that he's establishing year one. And it's the culture that we're seeing with a player down that probably make a big difference on this team. It's been fun, and I know last night everyone was probably thinking season's over, and the way that they fought back to claw back and get that win, and a much-needed win. It was very fun to see, and I think only kind of a coach like Bucky McMillan could rally a team like that to pull that off. So it's going to be a fun next couple of weeks.
Okay, Ross?
The roller coaster of emotions watching us play basketball is just wild. And you're right, we come out and then we're watching, and then in the back of your mind, you're like, oh my gosh, we can't lose 5 in a row. We cannot lose this. And to see that come back and to see it, I think Logan said it earlier, it is nice to see us come back on a win to show that versus just blow somebody out, especially that doesn't have the best record. But it is crazy, the emotions that has happened this year. And I was thinking about my family and I were watching it in Yates basketball that 15 years ago. Let's go back to Nolan Richards, right? Let's go to UNLV. That's this fast break, this craziness is so fun to watch. It reminds me when I was a kid. So I appreciate it right now. I'm cheering it on. But I'm telling you right now, it is such an emotional roller coaster. It's almost like, let me just watch the last 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I need all of it because I can't handle it.
Your heart probably is.
Your heart is just, yes.
Hey, and to your point about learning how to win, I think all of us, everybody watching, listening, can say this. There are certain things in life that once you've done it, you can go to that tool bag and bring it out, right? So if you haven't, there is doubt. But once you've proven, we can come back from a deficit of double digit. We've done it before. We've done it a couple times. We can do this. We can close out games. There is something about a team learning how to do things that maybe felt foreign before. Roy?
It's learning how to solve problems, right? Like it's just in life. Like once you solve a certain problem and it arises again later in life, you're like, I've solved this problem before. So I know how to attack it. So I did not catch the game last night, oddly enough. I was in a business dinner that lasted forever.
There was no TV?
Wow.
No.
Big deal.
Oh, man.
No, it was. I wore a blazer last night. Yeah.
What?
But I did catch the clips and everything, all the write-ups and everything. And be able to hold them without scoring for the last, 3:32 in the game. That's such a refreshing feeling to not be the team not scoring for 3.5 minutes of the last 3.5 minutes of the game. But what's on my mind, and I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget.
Let's go.
Because I'll preface this by saying, a couple things. One, I'm a massive Olympics junkie.
Okay.
Massive. Okay.
Are you really?
Massive.
Huh.
Yeah, my ringer is the Olympics fanfare right now.
Summer and winter?
Yes. All of it. And the hockey yesterday was amazing. 3 of the 4 games went to overtime. Anyways, I'm going curling tomorrow night in Sugar Land.
I didn't know you could actually go curling. That's a thing?
So it is an Olympic certified curling center in Sugar Land.
Huh.
And they have these instructional 2-hour blocks that you can go to, and they're always sold out. And we randomly hopped on the other day, and there were two spots available. So Megan and I are going to go curl.
Okay.
But what's on my mind is the TexAgs bobsled team. See, y'all guys got it all wrong.
Oh, okay.
So
did you guys hear the segment?
No.
I forget how it came up. Nick asked the question.
It was about Boone's interview, and then when it starts, it's on Saturday and all that stuff. And they were trying to figure out the 4 people from TexAgs that they would put in the bobsled.
Okay.
And so you don't want the weight up front. You got that wrong.
Oh,
So
okay.
remember back in the day when Herschel Walker went for the U.S. bobsled team?
I do.
Yeah, he was the brake man. He's the guy in the back.
Okay.
You want Bronny in the back. Right?
Okay.
I would assume Bronny probably has the most raw leg power.
Okay, yeah, I agree with
All
that.
right. You and Logan Lee need to be in the middle.
Okay, why is that?
Probably the most athletic.
Okay.
You're gonna provide the most to push.
I appreciate you saying that. I'm not athletic at all, but thank you.
If you can roll around on the mat, you are athletic, dude. Trust me.
That's the people on the mat. Go ahead.
And then, but y'all right on this. Kay Nagley needs to be there, but she needs to be the driver. She needs to be up front.
Ah, okay.
Because she's athletic, but I think
and smart.
And younger. So it's like when the older you get, the harder it is to drive, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you can't see anyways. So
Thanks. That's rude.
So there you have Kay, you, and Logan, and then you got Bronny.
See, I was thinking more like a dad, like protecting. You put Bronny up front because whatever. Oh, he's put Bronny up front can take that power, right? If you crash, you're good, right?
All 4 of y'all are going to be in it if you crash, man.
But he would absorb a lot of the power.
The driver generally has a little bit better because they can still duck up underneath the hood when they crash. The other guys
how scary is that?
Well, the other guys are just head on ice. So completely random, but I will go back to basketball. It's it really did feel like do or die. And I don't know if he wants me to say this on air or not, but Bronny had a text like keyed up for Luke. Said can't spell evangelist without NIT.
Oh, that's funny.
So all props to Bronny on that one, but good to see them turn it around. That's not just a confidence boost. I think it's a big boost to be like, all right, we can get back on the right side of things. And we have manageable heading forward.
Before we hit a break, if we get that Ruben Dominguez, the last 5 minutes or 7 minutes, Ruben Dominguez.
The one we've been missing.
Yeah. I'm talking about double digits. Hits. He didn't have to hit 60% of his threes, but
shots got to fall.
Yeah. And and he hit big ones.
Timely.
They don't win that game without him.
Yeah. And it feels like we've been dogging on him because he's just been in such a slump, and shooters get into slumps just like hitters do. And so, to see him kind of that light go back on, I think that's going to be really huge. All right. Stay on.
Let's hit a break. We'll come back. I think we have football on the other side, and we'll close out with baseball. Right now, if you're looking for real peace of mind when it comes to your money, check out Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. They're an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. No sales pitches, no commissions, just honest financial planning and investment management. And what really sets them apart is the 9 CFPs, the CFA and the CPA all on staff. They take their credentials seriously, and they work tirelessly to help you build a future that you can feel good about. Go to paragon-adv.com and give them a call, 979-693-3907, to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors, integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. We're back here on TexAgs Live. It is the fan show brought to you by Prize Picks here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's do a little Aggie football. As Olin would say, it's always a good time to talk Aggie football.
It's football all year long.
Yep. We got a Coach Elko press conference this week. A lot of good tidbits. The one we were talking about today wasn't from his press conference, was from his interview with J.D. Pickell, where he said he expects Marcel Reed to take a massive leap. I don't want to use a headline and make it a bigger topic than it needs to be, but I do want to talk about what it looks like with Marcel taking a similar step that I think he took this past offseason.
Absolutely.
Start us off, Kevin.
No, it's refreshing. I love the honesty of Elko. I think we all do. When you look at Marcel's progressions throughout the year, most of the time we were like, man, just cut him loose. And it just felt like, for whatever reason, the game plan was, don't let him get hurt in the first half. Let's game manage him. Yeah. And then once he got loose and he did his thing, it was magical. It was amazing. And I know the last two games are kind of, but yeah, it's something to look forward to say, this is our quarterback. This is our quarterback next year. We haven't had that in many, many years where we felt confident saying that. Mm-hmm. Looking forward to, let's see what we're drawing up. And just from the fan show, the guy in the stands, cut him loose. Yeah. Whatever it is that he does well, that you've identified, start it in the first quarter and let him go, and don't worry about getting injured or anything else. That's what I want to see.
But as a fan, don't we all worry about a quarterback getting injured because of history?
We do, but when you
can't play that way, though.
When you saw who came in, our backup, they're showing signs. It's like, hey, I'm not that worried because I feel like our quarterback room is it as deep as our wide receiver room. I don't know.
I'm excited about the young guys, but they're still very young, right? That's a very young quarterback room.
This is still Marcel's team, though. This team will go as far as Marcel's going to go, and he has progressed over the last 2 years. To me, Marcel's a rhythm quarterback. If you could get him started off in a rhythm in a game, the proof was in the pudding last year. I mean, they rattled off how many wins to start the year. South Carolina in that second half, once he got into a rhythm, things started flowing. So I think for him to take the next step, you got some playmakers around him now. I think you have really good depth at the running back position. And that's the key. You have older guys, Marcel, older guy, Ruben Owens, older guy. If that offensive line can come together, that's going to be the key to Marcel's success. Is going to be, can he get blockers up front to give him time to find the guys? This new system that is going to be for him with the new offensive coordinator, I think Colin Klein was fine, but let's see what he can do in this one. I think for Marcel to take the next step, like you said, he is going to have to figure out how to become good to great. And that's going to determine how successful this team is going to be on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, I think Marcel is one of the known quantities that we have, right?
Yeah.
He's returning. We've seen him for a full year now starting. We saw him some the year prior. And for Coach Elko to make that statement about him making a similar jump, I think that should excite every single person that loves Texas A&M football. And honestly, it should probably concern people that are going to play Texas A&M football. Because I'm with you, David. The jump I saw him make was significant. Now, was he a Heisman contender? No.
He was at one point.
He was at one point, but he ended up not going to New York, right? So he's got that next level, that next step to take. But if Coach Elko, and like you said, Kevin, I mean, the guy he's like anti-coach speak.
Honestly, guys, when I look at Marcel, we go back to the Miami game where he wasn't good, right?
No.
But if he makes that one throw, and I say if, it didn't happen. I know, I get it. He didn't make the throw. If he makes that throw, then you almost forget about the game not being good because he made the throw that mattered. Yeah. It was a windy condition. Miami's defense was ridiculously good. I don't know if the wind mattered in that situation, but if he makes that throw and they tie the game, I think we look at it differently.
If he's just got to win games.
Yeah.
I think that
at the end of the day,
At the end of the day, just win the football games.
Well, he won 11 of them.
Exactly.
But go back to Kevin's point, cut him loose, man.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not always that he has to make the throw.
Well, that's the Holman Wiggins factor, right? Maybe that changes a little bit more.
And that's kind of that key that I'm hoping to see is you cut him loose because his legs are a weapon. Hyper promise.
They're there.
I've seen them.
All right, offensively, let's go through each group, right? And you guys tell me your confidence level. And by the way, when we do this, there's going to be some doubt because we haven't seen some of these dudes, right? So quarterback, confidence level, pretty good?
High.
Very high.
Very high.
Okay. Wide receiver room.
High.
Not as high as last year or almost as high as last year?
As high, I expect them.
I'm going to say as high, if not higher.
Okay. No KC?
The dudes that came in that are stacked up that cannot get on the field, every source that I've talked to is saying these guys are going to come in and make instant impact, but they just can't get out there yet. And we saw flashes in a couple of games, and we're like, who is that guy?
Yeah.
They are stacked up, and I'm excited.
I think Ashton Bethel-Roman having the year he had kind of helps out with that because he was a very big unknown going into last year. He kind of, I'm not saying he's going to take the KC, role, but you have a known commodity there. Like you're going into the season. I know Craver, I know Ashton Bethel-Roman at least,
and Horton. I mean, he gives you more of what I thought you would have gotten last year had a certain wide receiver stayed around.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Tight end. Maybe because I just talked to him yesterday, but I feel much better about the tight end room because I've seen it. I've seen Houston Thomas do big things at tight end. Yes, he did it at UTSA, but I feel good about his ability. And I think there's some young guys in that tight end room that are going to go places. Do you guys feel higher, lower, about the same about the tight end room?
I think you say the same. Because Borkature was a unknown commodity last year.
Borkature was amazing.
And look how well he turned out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm the same because who we expected to produce in the tight end role didn't. So somebody steps up from that room. Maybe it's not the name we're expecting. So I'm I'm even keel when it comes to tight end room. Maybe moderately positive.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm even. I mean, it feels like it's been years since we've had that one tight end that we all knew their name and they were making all these productive plays and they're just not. But the wide receivers now are overshadowing him.
Sure,
So,
but if you have that option in the middle of the field, because the games that A&M was really good, they would find a way
to include the tight end
right?
in the game plan.
Okay. Running back room. I'm going to answer for you guys first, and then you guys tell me.
Please.
I don't feel better about the running back room than I did a year ago today because you had Le'Veon Moss. But I do feel better about the running back room today than I did midseason when Le'Veon was down, even though it's not that different because I do think Ruben's going to be better, and you've got youngsters that have done stuff now. Roy, start us off.
Well, running back is one of those positions where you really kind of can't make an impact when you're young, right? Give them the ball, run the ball. I mean, it's kind of that simple. Pass blocking comes into it and everything. But I'll probably say that I'm probably with you. I'm just kind of even keel on it. I saw some stuff for some young guys I really loved last year, and they were able to produce when Le'Veon Moss was down.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got high expectations for them. But I'm probably about the same, kind of like you.
I'm identical. I'm in the same. I think we elevated 2 years ago when we had that. There's 3 or 4 of them. Now we're rotating 5. So the bar is up there. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it an 8 probably. I feel good. There's depth. But is it that anything like the problem is the wide receiver group just set the bar.
Yeah.
And so now we're all chasing. That was a 10 last year. So on a scale of 1 to 10, in my opinion, I'd say even kill with the running backs.
I think the good thing for A&M is a couple years ago you had Amari Daniels kind of in that third-tier role. Then Moss goes down. He kind of gets in that second-tier role. Well, last year he was on the team, but Morrow jumped him. So, and he played great in a lot of meaningful games. So I think with his production last year, it kind of makes you feel better now that a guy like Amari Daniels is gone. So it's just behind him who's going to step up, and you have a lot of young talent.
Another positive spin was, what did we think about Smith 2 years ago?
Exactly,
and then all of a sudden, he comes back on the stage, and we're like, oh my gosh, give him the ball.
Well, and I'll remind folks, when Devon Achane left, Le'Veon took a huge step. So Le'Veon's leaving. Does Ruben take a huge step as the guy? And then the most important one out of all of them outside of quarterback, the offensive line. And I can't feel as good as I felt last year, but I hope I feel better than I did at the end of the year. Chase.
It's a prove it position. Go out there and just prove that you can get the job done at this point. I think with the revolving door of transfer portal in the college football, basketball world, offensive line, defensive line, that is a position that you have to reload every year coming through that, I think, because I don't think you can count on a young true freshman, redshirt freshman to get the job done. So to me, that position each and every year, it's going to be in flux. So that's got to be a prove it position.
Yeah, for me, it's just kind of TBD. Like, I don't even know who's going to be the 5.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to feel about that. So then it just kind of goes back to trusting the coaching staff and trusting the strength and training, coordinators. And so it's.
But that's a position, Kevin, that like you got to have reps together.
You got to have.
Yeah.
And last year and the year before, we moved so many puzzle pieces and trying to figure it out, and that's coaching. But then you lose that cohesiveness, and we figured it out. But again, until we show up, who knows what's about to show up in the fall with those 5.
Yep.
Well, and we showed that we're a team that will rotate 7 linemen throughout a game. So it's, you do have some experience somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Let's hit a break here. Come back with a little baseball and, yes, Double Daves as well. But we're going to wait on that right now. Did you or someone you know graduate from A&M in the last 12 years? And are they leading by example in business and in service? If that's the case, the Association of Former Students would like to invite you to nominate yourself or someone that you know for the 12 Under 12 Award. Each year, the association recognizes a dozen Aggies who have graduated within the last 12 years for their business accomplishments, civic or military service, philanthropic efforts, and outstanding representation of A&M's core values of excellence, integrity, leadership, loyalty, respect, and selfless service, all in support of that worldwide Aggie network. Previous year honorees have included leaders in business, higher education, architects, petroleum engineers, nonprofit execs, physicians, veterans, and members of the U.S. Armed Forces. 2026 nominations close on Saturday, February 28th. So be sure to submit a nomination soon. To learn more about the recognition, submit a nomination, please visit tx.ag/12 Under 12 nominations. It's the Association of Former Students. Time to end the day with Double Daves. Caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We'll hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Daves. They've been serving Aggie Land since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls, reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com and your favorites are on their way. Early into the baseball season, guys.
I see what you did there.
I pulled an Olin Buchanan, right? I found a way. So how are we feeling? 4-0 start, offense looking good, pitching showing some signs. What do we think? Chase, start us off.
It's early, not to piggyback off of that. I mean, you did your job beating the teams so far that are on your schedule
which wasn't guaranteed last year.
Which was not guaranteed last year, so that's a good start to it. I mean, you got, as you look at the schedule, Penn coming up. I mean, you want to sweep that. Lamar's going to be a good challenge. Lamar's a really good Southland Conference team. And then that number 1 UCLA team right there, I think that you want to get into that game undefeated and kind of set your season up right there. Say, how are we going to match up with one of the best teams in the country? And then you follow that up with Arizona State's pretty good Big 12 team. So I think if you could start rolling in, get into that game, and kind of set your eyes up to that, that's where we'll see how this baseball team is going to be going. So,
Kevin Ross?
No, I'm very, very hopeful, very optimistic. Like what I see. I love the guys that obviously have returned. It's hard, right? Because you don't really know. They don't have some of the best pitching and stuff. But you guys have been saying this for years on TexAgs and in the sports. Just win the games you're supposed to win, right? It don't matter the sport. But if Vegas has their odds on you, you need to take
business,
this. Yeah. And so to see that, because at any moment, and I think people forget this that don't really follow. Every time we play a lesser team, they are throwing. This is their Super Bowl, right? This is their one opportunity to knock a giant down, whether it's the Texas States or UTSAs or SFAs or Sam Houston. So we are getting their best. And for us to take care of business is just a breath of fresh air, and I'm looking forward to what's coming up.
Roy?
I think it's a little bit different in baseball in that extent because, like, if you're Lamar, your entire non-conference is generally pretty brutal. Like, because what you can drive to in the state of Texas to play, right? And so while they get up for us, I still think baseball's a game that, like, you don't need to get hyper emotional to go play. Like, baseball's a very methodical game. But looking at that schedule, I would expect us to be undefeated heading into UCLA. Maybe pick up a loss. I don't know how VTech is this year, but they're generally a pretty good baseball program. It's weird. Like you said, it rolled right off the tongue. Arizona State, good Big 12 team. Still not used to them being in the Big 12. But you got to love the offensive output. You know, baseball's still a game where you can run up against a pitcher that's on a team that the college has an enrollment of 8,000, and he mows you down for 7 innings. I'd like to see a little bit more of the pitching, but what I've seen so far has been good. I think we've gotten used to having a real stable of pitchers at Texas A&M. So when there's a bit of an unknown, either starting on the bump or coming out of the bullpen, we're a little bit hesitant. But obviously, offensively is ridiculous. They're just mashing the crap out of the ball. They're just knocking the cover off of it. And you can get by with that to some degree, but you guys want to see the pitching come along, with the hitting as well. And love to see the freshman on the corner, by the way.
In baseball, if you have an unknown on one side, whether it's defense, pitching, you want to make sure that hitting's clicking. If it's hitting that's not clicking, you want to make sure your pitching is doing.
Yeah. Well, this team so far, I mean, you expect them to mash.
Yeah.
And the freshmen, I mean, it's been great to see them.
I'm not sure I expected 45 runs in 3 games mash, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's keep it going. If I'm asking.
Yeah, if the bats are hot, I mean, you can cover up a lot of deficiencies with rocking bats, absolutely. With slow
but what's really neat about doing that, it gives Early and the rest of his coaching staff an opportunity to bring in all these arms that we don't even know these kids' names yet.
Yeah.
Because once you do start producing those runs, this time of the year, I love just sitting there watching the rotation of these pitchers, and I'm like, who's that guy? Well, who's this? That is what gets me excited because we got to get that figured out before conference.
Got to drop it there. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching and listening. We will see you mañana on TexAgs Live.